Okay, we are apparently live. So, hello. Sorry we're late. We've both had technical difficulties.
I always seem to have. I should set it up like an hour before, so I got plenty of time if things go wrong.
I know. I was like, because I'm back at work and I actually have to drive home now. I've driven home, I've walked the dog, I've cooked my tea, and then my alarm went off going, you need to go set your laptop up while I was still eating. I was like, Ugh. And
So you
it's now
did
just
it.
having one of them days where it doesn't want to work.
Yeah, it is one of those days.
There's that.
I feel like
It's
this
just,
whole month was cursed. Like, we picked the biggest book we could think of, and then
but it was such a good book.
it was good. What did you give it?
5.
I gave it 4.
Finished it.
Yeah, you finished it and you liked it. That's the
And I liked
first.
it.
Apologies, I will be eating, but with my tea. So
That's fine. So just like, I think if we're going to do it on a weeknight, we might have to put it at like 7:30. Just because now I've tried it with me actually working not at home and I have to come home, get the dog, walk him. Just makes me a bit less rushed. I've not even got changed. I'm still on my work stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is just a bit hectic to try and get everything done. So we'll try and keep it to Saturdays or Sundays. It's probably the best bet.
Yeah, it was hectic this weekend. So.
Oh yeah, well I forgot I had a birthday meal yesterday, Monday. I don't even know what day it is. I am literally all over the place. But I think I gave it 4 stars.
I think you did because I went to see what you gave it before I gave it 5. I was like, did Abby actually like this? Because she's not talking to me.
Yeah, no, I realized we weren't really updating in the group chat about like where we were, if we were liking it. The thing is, I started it a while ago for Medieval-a-thon, which I think was like in the start of the year for sure.
Yeah, February, I think.
Yeah, so I'd already started it, so I knew I already kind of liked it going into it because I read this first bit and I was like, this is good. I can tell it was going to be good. But I think for me, what not to star off was, I don't know, I felt like because there's a lot of time jumps, and for me time jumps are hit and miss. It's like either they do it and it's like, oh, that's fine, because they're just trying to bypass all this time to get to a certain point. But when it's like, I feel like I wanted more time with the characters when they were younger and them together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
because I wanted
there's this
more.
bond that forms, but we don't get to see it kind of develop. It's more so like we've been friends for years, and it's like, I didn't get to see it. I would have quite liked to see them, being friends. I guess that's probably not the most exciting, so it's why it's not in the book. But
no,
I love stuff like that, see, because I'm character driven, so I like.
Yeah, I like seeing it develop. So like where all of a sudden, oh, I forgot his name because I've got my current read's names in my head. The older one where he's like my little brother. How? You've known him 2 days. How? That was the only bit that bugged me.
Marcus?
No, it's Aaron. Who?
Marcus?
Yes.
That's the older one, and Aram is the younger
Aaron's
one.
the younger one.
I want to say he has like a disability about him, doesn't he? Like whether it's like social, like he's not normal, if you get what I mean.
From what I know, my sister's a teacher and she's had to do courses on autistic children, what their traits are, how they think. I would say he's autistic.
Because he has like
purely because he has to do things certain ways. What you tell him, literally, like he got told to stop and think, and he literally stopped in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And his emotional shutdowns, having to have his food certain way. There were a load of others. I've left my notebook in the other room.
I think it was like the knot tie-in, like the obsession.
The obsessive.
Yeah, because it was like obsessive, because he had like a whole cavern full of them, and he kind of like, you could tell he didn't know how to make friends. It wasn't that just that he didn't have any friends. It's like he didn't know how to make friends. So
and he's quite obsessive with stuff, and he doesn't think, and there were various other things as well. And I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that because barely any reviews mention it at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's definitely, and I listed all these things that I'd spotted about him. And I went to show it to my sister because obviously she's done all the courses and like, yeah, he's severely autistic.
Yeah.
But he's actually the most important person in the world, which I thought was great.
Yeah, that's true actually. Like he is the hero in a sense, but he has all these
And the
like
previous
extra
champion
hurdles.
was autistic as well.
What's that?
I think the previous champion, the one who died, he was autistic as well. He had the same things that Aram had.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that, but I guess that would make sense if he's similar.
I was probably looking for it at that point. But
what did
I
you
just
think of like the pacing though, like with the time jumps? Were you okay with that? I guess you were because you gave it 5 stars. But you know when it was like they were at school and then it's like time jump, and then everything that happened and they got split up, time jump. We didn't get really time to like have them grieve being separated, I think was my thing.
Yeah, I think that one bothered me. And the other one that bothered me was when Aram got taken down to the cellars. And then all of a sudden, like, it's 4 years later and you don't see anything. You see him after when he's really, really struggling. And he's obviously got PTSD and various other things from it. But you don't know why he's that way. So I'm like, as horrible as it is, I think we could have done with seeing a bit of that.
Yeah, at least like maybe little like snippets at the start of a chapter kind of thing. Like, well, that's the thing because it wasn't like Marcus was trying to find him and then we get the little like backstory of like that's where he was and Marcus didn't know where he was. It was very much like he went away. Marcus was like, where is he? And they're like, he obviously they told him he died, so I get, but like I don't know. I thought because like he's my brother. Like I thought you would have grieved him a bit more.
Yeah, he would have grieved. And if it were me and somebody told me, like, if we were in that situation and someone said, "Oh, Abby's died," I'd be like, "Okay, where's the funeral? I want to see the body."
Mm.
Especially considering that he knew they were trying to put him in the cellars.
Mm. Like he knew that they had like malicious intents with him, so it's like, why wouldn't you question them? You know?
Yeah. So I would have questioned that. One bit that I did like, and it made me cry on page 45, and I tabbed it and everything in a different colour, was when Aaron's mum was saying, "Don't take him, he's simple, he can't take care of himself, he's not normal."
Yeah.
And the bard turned around and said, "Your boy isn't simple, Aaron is very smart, he just sees the world differently to the rest of us." And my sister likes that as well.
Yeah, that is...
Because it's
a good
true.
indication of,
a lot of people think that kids with autism and stuff are stupid, and they're not. They just think differently.
Yeah, if anything, some of them are, really smart, really great memories, and they're just really particular. So, because my cousin, she's got the like severe autism, like nonverbal autism and stuff. So it's a spectrum. That's the thing. I think people think autistic. They think like what my cousin is. It's like, no, it's a spectrum. So you can be on it a little bit.
Everybody is actually on the spectrum. Yeah. Every single person is apparently on the spectrum somewhere.
Yeah. It's just whether you're at like the, more kind of not showing signs of it, I guess, because obviously when they start showing, that's when you get tests done and stuff.
Yeah.
So I suppose but I'm sure there's loads of undiagnosed people with autism, and it's not a taboo thing. It's just given. It's so sad when things like that are given such like a, and people like obviously take the mick out of it, and it's just like, no.
They do, but
a brain condition, like
there's such a big spectrum of it. So things like not liking loud noises. I don't like loud noises. Liking things done a particular way, and it really irritates you when it's done wrong. I have that.
But I'm also a Virgo, so I don't know if that's my Virgo. It's just like, if you can't do it right, I'll do it myself.
I'm like that. Just give it me because you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And there's various other things like that, and I'm sat going, does that mean I'm further into the spectrum than I thought? Because I've got loads of these different
But you could also
thing.
class that as like OCD, you know, like having to, like, I don't
OCD,
mind piles
anxiety
of stuff.
disorders, they all
Yeah, because
cross over.
I don't mind, like, I kind of, like, I'm not like one of those like neat freaks, but if there's piles of stuff, I have to have it like stacked neatly. You know what I mean? Stack the pile neatly.
Mine are haphazard.
Yeah, mine are a
But
bit all over the place with my like things I need done a certain way. But
it's little things like Dave was asking me the other day when we went to Lytham, which I'd never been before, and he's like, "Why are you getting anxious? We're going to our friend's coffee shop that's dog friendly.
yeah,
What makes you anxious about a place you don't know?" I'm like, "I don't know where the toilets are. I don't know how to get back to the car park. I don't know where any books are. I don't know the people. I don't know how busy it is, and all of that I don't know about places." That can be an autistic trait as well. Of you have to know every single thing.
yeah, I have seen
You
that
have to
one.
know where exits are. You have to know everything. So
Yeah,
then Dave's walking around the place going, "There's toilets in there and there's toilets in there." And then I started calming down.
yeah.
But it's strange. And I like the fact that she wrote him in a way that him being autistic wasn't a big deal.
No, it was only really certain people, which are people that would have, you know, I don't think they were picking on him for particularly for that. I think they just picked on him because he was different
He was small and
and
he
they
was
didn't know
scrawny.
why,
Yeah.
you know. So it's one of those things of like they didn't take the time to understand him, so therefore they think he's weird and they pick on him. But I don't think it was very much like, oh, he's got this, that's why we should, you know. So that was done very well, where it's like still showing him as like the underdog and the, you know, the guy without no friends, just sits in his cave making his knots. That's another thing I was gonna say though, is that I felt like for the last half of the book, everything to do with the knots kind of didn't make an appearance.
Yeah, she kept saying of this knot and this knot, and then it's like he just held his hands in the air and twiddled his fingers. And you can see him
Yeah.
doing knots, and I'm like, yeah, but
I
how
thought it
does
was gonna
that
be a
tie
bigger part
in?
of the story because I was like waiting for like
Yeah.
more explanation behind the knots. Like what? Like we got a little bit. Maybe further into the series we'll get more of it. But it's just it was such a prevalent part of like the first like 10 or so like, you
Yeah.
know, like him in his cave. It was very like this is, you know, this is important to him. This is like
They
big.
were all organised.
Yeah. So it's like, well, what happened to that? I think for me, this is going to be spoilers, but hopefully anyone who watches this will have read the book. But it was the time drops as well for me was when like he obviously found that he was alive, rescued him, and then they immediately got separated again and didn't really get much chance of a reunion. I hated that. I was like, no, you just found each other and then they get separated again. I was just like, no. And
It's
then
like
like
you just found each other.
yeah, but then like there was no really like that's the thing after that. There was no kind of haste on Aram's part or Marcus to get back to find each other again. Even though we're told like they're really close, they're like brothers. It's like if I had someone who was like a brother, I would want to go find
I'd
them.
want to find him and bring him with me.
Yeah, especially when you leave them behind in a sense, like, you know, he rescued him, so he's, you know, even though he didn't really get reprimanded too badly for that, it's like, oh, you've lost us our like power source, but that's fine. You know, I was
He's
expecting
too
like,
valuable, isn't he?
because he's
Oh,
what was
what's the
he?
word? He's immune to magic. I can't remember what word they
Yeah,
used.
he's like a. Is he like a? Because he's like Aram's shield.
Shield.
Shield, is that what you were? Yeah. So he can resist magic, which I thought was pretty cool. I love that when it's like both, because like obviously at the start Marcus is just, we were led to believe he's just like ordinary, especially because Aram like fakes that test for him so he can like go with him.
Yeah.
So to find out he is actually powerful as well was quite nice, because obviously he was just like just gonna like tag along, and then he actually turned into like being like really helpful. So yeah, no, I think for me the star off was I don't like books that don't. I need the journey of the characters to get fully connected to the characters, and I feel like I didn't have that completely.
Yeah.
You know, like just in that
Get
first
that.
little bit, getting to know them, and then it's just like they're at the school, Aram gets taken, they find each other again, they split up again. I just didn't get to see their relationship develop the way I wanted to, I guess. That's, you know,
Yeah,
that's
that
might
bit
be a
was
personal preference.
it was told more than shown, that bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't like telling. I need shoving. I need that's the thing I like, when the heroes go on the journey and to see the journey. you know, and have things happen on the journey. I don't like, we're going to go on this long epic journey. Oh, we're there. Because then I'm like, but I didn't get to see the, you know, the journey and the hardships and how you got there. You're just there. And I will say that's what I've noticed. I picked this up today because I realized that the release date had come out recently. The Maleficent.
Mine's on its way.
Maleficent 7. And this is described as like Suicide Squad meets Kings of the Wild, which I love. Well, I'm not a huge fan of Suicide. I like the idea of Suicide Squad. I just didn't like the movie. But I like the idea of it, like villains coming together to save the world. And this is very much those feels. They're all like really not even morally great. A lot of them are just evil characters, but they're coming together to save the world. It's really different. But in this,
read it all.
No, I'm on.
I was going to say I'm only about 50 pages in.
I'm on chapter 32, so I'm 305 pages in, 304 pages in. But I found that well, if you're 50 pages in, you will have seen that like when they go to get the people, it's very quick. It's like they go get them, they argue a little bit, and then they're gone again. Like it's just like, I don't like when we don't get to see much world building because they're just traveling around so fast that I can't get grasps of like, how big is this world? Where are they all? Are they all like really close together for you to get so quickly?
Do that.
And then obviously sometimes they'll mention like it's, you know, 4 months later, like so I kind of get that, but I just feel like that first part I didn't get told like how long it took them to get all together. So in my head's thinking like, oh, this is a really small world and they were all really close together. But then it's like some of them went on a boat and a ship. It's like I'd like to see more of them on the ship so that I can kind of like see their dynamics like one-on-one with like certain characters. You know what I mean? Like so you get to know their relationships, because that's another thing. I feel like they all got together and a lot of them were just like, I don't remember you. And it's like, well, it's not the band of like villains I wanted to come together. I wanted you all to kind of
like in Kings of the Wild where they're all like best friends still. Yeah,
and then you see that kind of banter and like they'll tell like old stories of like their past heroic efforts and stuff. I wanted more. I've wanted more of that. So a little disappointed because I was expecting heavy banter, because I was like, right, villains, they're gonna just take the mick out of each other constantly. Yeah. I feel like we just haven't got it very much. One character is definitely giving me like the cheeky guy vibes, and I like that. But yeah, it's okay. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna give it because I've still got 100 pages left.
Yeah.
100, yeah, about 100 pages left. But it's and it's different. That's probably why I, have read it so quickly, is because it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Did you want to say any more about Dragon's Mage? That like what's stuff you liked? Because you've got the notes. I was gonna make notes and I didn't have time to make notes.
Do you know what my favourite thing about it was?
That there was actually dragons in it.
Undead dragon.
Well, this was
he brought the dragon back from the dead. Yeah, no, I didn't read the description for that when I requested it off NetGalley, and then I started reading it, and it was like necromancer. I was like, oh, and then it was like in a vampire. Okay.
Yeah, I will say there's a lot of creatures for one world, like vampires, orcs, like alchemists.
And from what I read, it wasn't really
demigods
explaining stuff.
No.
In Maleficent 7, it was, you got the bit where the main character ran away at the very start, and then she found the necromancer because she wanted to get them back together, and then she sent the necromancer to get the vampire, and then everybody, where they should be very rightly saying, no, I'm not doing it, they just basically go on, I give you a bar of chocolate, and they go, okay then. Like, that's not, there didn't seem to be much relationship. No, and it didn't take much convincing to get him to do it. I do know, because I've read from him before, his books do generally go very fast. So in his other one that's set on the sea, it's just like they sail to this place, they sail to this place, they sail to this place.
Is that the traitor god? Or something like that? Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, the Traitor God. It is good. That one's quite funny. But he does kind of go at breakneck speed. So I was like, I've fallen out with my Kindle. I don't want to. I'll wait till my physical copy gets here, and it should be here at the weekend.
Yeah.
One thing that does bug me, and it makes me think if it's a different one about Dragon Mage, is on the cover. This dragon is blue. His dragon is red. So I'm like, is this a different
dragon?
Or is
Maybe
that it when it was the Void Dragon and it was dead?
Could be the Void Dragon. It doesn't look very dead though.
No, he looks very alive.
To be fair though, I've seen that like some books, like when I think about Age of Empire and I look at that scene, obviously the rest of them are scenes in the books. And like when I look at Age of Empire, I'm like, what scene is that? You know, you're like, did that happen?
Yeah, no.
So I don't know if like every time that they do that, they're just like, let's have it be from the book, or they're just like, let's just put themes on the book cover that like, I don't know.
I was going to turn around and get my Age of Empire book, but it's not here yet.
Yeah. My copy is signed.
Mine's not. Mine's
I
just
got
off.
I requested it from the author herself, and because she said she would sign it. She's like, oh, the only problem is like, she says, you're UK based. Do you mind like paying the postage because it's obviously really expensive? And I was like, yeah, it's fine, because I just wanted a signed copy. I was like, everyone with a signed copy, yeah. And the postage.
One thing I do like, it's not cracked to the spine.
No, mine's bending a little bit, but it's not cracked.
It's not straight, but it's because
I read like this sometimes. I'm like that, like, let's not break the spine because it's so pretty. Like, look at it.
I know.
I don't want to break the spine.
I read along with the audiobook.
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook.
The audiobook is really, really good.
That was good, yeah.
What was I going to say?
Who narrated it?
I can't remember, and I'm on my phone, so I can't look.
I feel like it was someone familiar. I always recognize voices of audiobooks. Yeah,
there are certain people, if they've narrated the book, that seals the deal for me getting the audiobook, basically.
Like Tim Reynolds.
Yep, Michael Kramer, Kate Redding.
Is
it Emily Zuweller?
That name is familiar.
She does like Descendant of the Crane, and I think she does a lot of the Asian fantasy ones.
Yeah.
Kerry is here and says she can't believe how big it is, because Kerry read it on Kindle. Kerry has decided, because she's had the same feelings as me about every single book, she's waiting until I start reading the book club book. If I say I like it, then she will read her.
How many pages is yours? Just out of interest. You got hardcover or paperback? Oh.
I've got paperback, so it's 818.
Yeah, mine's the same. Just wondered if it's different for the hardbacks, because there's hardbacks to this, and underneath the hardback is like this art, but just the cover.
I am really contemplating buying it, because I know I love a book. When I got like 100 pages in, and it was, I love this. So I immediately went to see if the sequel was out, and I signed up to her newsletter so that I got the prequel novella, or the prequel short story.
Oh, I need to do that.
It's about Esmir when he meets Daemar for the first time. I cried. It's like 30 pages and I cried.
Oh, I'll have to do that.
You should buy it. It'll take up half of your shelf, but buy it. It was really good.
I don't know why I love these series that have these massive books. Like, literally, Stormlight Archives takes up like a half a shelf, and they're not even all out yet. Even Malice, they're paperbacks and they're shorter, but like that makes them fatter, and they take up like half a shelf too.
I think people always ask me why I like such big books, and I'm like, I think it's because I like deep diving into the world. So you get that in a big book. Yeah. Whereas, like, apart from R.A. Salvatore books, because I'm like 36 books in now, with smaller books, you don't tend to get as much world building or backstory about the world and stuff. I mean, this isn't info dumpy, or I don't find it.
No, it wasn't.
It reads quite classic to me.
Yeah, and because first book in the series, you expect it to be big because, you know, trying to introduce
and I expect a lot of info because it's setting everything up.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to hear an unpopular opinion though? Talking about big books is like, obviously Assassin's Apprentice. It's quite small, right? It's quite short. I loved it. 5 stars, amazing. I picked up Royal Assassin. I was bored for a long. I was quite bored. I got to a point where I was like, I might DNF this, and you know what I'm like with DNFing. But I got to a point where I don't know if I can continue because they get bigger and bigger, and I was just thinking, why is nothing happening?
Like, lull in the middle.
It was a lot of a lull. I just sat there. I was like, is anything gonna happen? Come on. I was just like, why is this so much bigger? And the story's not even like, it's not like that it was packed full of stuff. And I was just like, oh no, please don't do this to me because I love the first one so much. And I know people love the series and they love the continuation series and the companions and all that. And I have a lot of them because I found them all in like charity shops. And I just bought the entire trilogies of them. But this one tested me. I'm hoping the next one, because it's the final book, obviously then it might be a bit more fast paced. But this one, I just felt like it did not need to be that long. It did not.
Royal Assassin, if I remember, starts off fairly fast, and then there's a middle bit where you're kind of, Fitz is just wandering around,
moaning about,
and because you're in his head.
Molly. It's like, we get it. You love Molly.
Fitz is Fitz. My mum and dad's dog is called Molly. I'm like, that accidentally fit really, really well.
That was an accident?
God, I didn't even think about it until after we got him, and I was like, oh, this is really cute. Look, it's Fitz and Molly. And she won't have anything to do with him either, which is hilarious.
Well, no spoilers because I've obviously got to a certain point where...
Have you seen the special editions?
Yes. Well, I've seen the ones that are like the Waterstones ones.
No.
Those ones? No, not the Waterstones ones.
The UK ones are done by Harper, and they're like cloth-bound ones, you know, like First Law and Mistborn and everything.
Are they not the Waterstones ones?
They're not Waterstones. You can get them anywhere. So like Blackwell's and Amazon have them. This one came from Forbidden Planet.
Oh, why did I think they were Waterstones?
Because most are Waterstones. This one, though. Look at...
Oh, God. That's what I mean. That's not... Oh no, because now I'm really like nervous now. So it's like, I'm not gonna like it.
The last one.
It's the final book in the series, so it has to be good, right?
Assassin's Quest is like 850 pages.
How much was it, Royal Assassin? It's like 700.
Yeah, they get bigger. One thing I will say, because technically the series follow on. I read Farseer. I went to read Live Ship and didn't like it because it wasn't Fitz, so I put that down. And I've read the second Fitz trilogy. Went to try and read the Dragon books to follow it on. I was like, no, it's not Fitz. I don't like it. Put it down after the first book, and I'm going to do all of the Fitz books and then go back and do the others. Because I was just sat going, I want to find out what Fitz is doing.
Yeah. Fitz, I wouldn't say makes my list of favourite characters ever.
He's an adorable idiot. And I just want to slap him sometimes.
He's a bit whiny. He's a bit like, I get it, you're having a hard time. Like, he does. He has a really hard time. But he also doesn't make it easy for himself.
No, he makes it really difficult.
Like, I'm just so frustrated with him most of the time. And then he's just wandering around and he's like, Molly, I love Molly. It's like, yeah, we know you love Molly. I get it.
It's worse because you're in his head. It's from just his perspective. You don't have anything else to break up the inner monologue.
Yeah, because I'd love to listen to like other people's perspective for sure. Barak? Is that how you say it?
Barak, I think the audiobook says.
Why did I hear it as, I don't know, but like him, I'd love to see his perspective. I'd love to see the. What's the one that goes? Oh, because with V. Why can't I remember it? The king in waiting in the second one.
Verity.
Verity. Why was I thinking Vespertine? It's that book that's coming out
Good words.
by
It's like chivalry, verity, patience. I might just call them normal names.
Feelings. They've all got like.
Yeah, it's like, what's your best
traits.
characteristic? I'm very patient. Okay, your name is Patience. No.
Like Fitz chivalry. I just every time he says his name, I'm just like, that's such a stupid name.
It makes me laugh that Fitz literally means bastard, and that's my dog's name.
Bastard chivalry. Is his name Fitz chivalry, or is it just? Fitz?
It is when he's in trouble.
Fitz
Dave
chivalry.
calls him Fitzgerald.
Is a cute name for a dog.
He answers to him. And I agree with Kerry, the bigger the series, the better. I am waiting for book 37 of Driz, which comes out next week. Because I'm up to date.
I'd say big within reason. That's a little bit too much for me.
But they're kind of in mini-series. It's like the Raymond Feist book. They're in trilogies and a couple of quartets, so you can jump around. You don't have to go chronological if you don't want to. I did. But if you want to read the first series and the last series, you technically can, because the most recent trilogy that came out is technically set before the first one.
Yeah, I like reading series the way that they're recommended to be read, so that you get the Easter eggs.
I try and do publication order.
Yeah.
If I can.
Yeah.
My exception was Discworld, where I literally read them in the order I found them in charity shops. Because you can.
Is there any order to Discworld? Because I got told to. I literally, where was I? And it was really weird. I had to go for my hysteroscopy. I was so nervous going in there. So obviously there was like the doctor, the male doctor, and he was down. And then there was like 4 nurses, all in the same room with me. And, you know, my legs were in stirrups and all that kind of stuff. And they started obviously chatting to me, trying to get me like distracted because I was so anxious. They're trying to distract me. They're like, oh, what did you do in your spare time? Like, and I was like, oh, I like to read. They're like, oh, like what kind of books? I'm like, oh, I love fantasy. And then like one of the nurses was like, have you read Terry Pratchett? And I was like, no, not yet. She's like, read Guards, start there. And I was like, okay. It was the most random conversation to have at the most random time. But it was just so funny. I was like, read Terry Pratchett. So I really need to read him because a lot of people say that he's really good. So
I think it depends. Some people say go publication order because he only gets better.
Yeah.
I always say don't start with The Colour of Magic because I didn't like it. And even he says don't start with that because it's not good. He kind of like wrote half a story and then everyone went, where's the rest of it? So then he had to write The Light Fantastic. So those two together are kind of one book.
Yeah.
So it's, apart from those two, the rest can technically be read as standalones. They explain enough about what you need to know that you can read it by yourself. You can start with Guards if you want, but then there's like
I'm already aware that it's the world on a giant turtle, right? Like
that's you in, yeah.
So that's, you know,
that's
explanation enough. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be strange.
It's weird and it's funny, but it's English humor, not American. So I find it hilarious. But then there are like mini series in it. So my favourite of the series are the death ones, because who's surprised?
Are you like what's the character that you like?
Mort.
Is he like the Grim Reaper?
He's about 14 years old in the first one, and Death is basically seeking an apprentice because he's getting tired. He's been Death and he's the only one who knows how to do it, so he goes to like an apprentice fair and picks Mort up thinking it's perfect because his name literally means death and takes him to be as an apprentice, and then Death basically buggers off and leaves him.
Who names their child Death?
He's technically called Mortimer.
Oh, okay.
but everyone just calls him Mort. And I just, Death is hilarious. But then
well, just
my
from the
sister
cover, like I've seen art of it and it just looks funny. Like the character of Death looks like funny.
he is.
So,
One thing I will say,
because I found that illustrated edition of it.
Oh, I'm so jealous of that edition. I don't have it.
You don't? Oh, I should have got it for you. I thought you.
I was like, I didn't
edition.
even think that they would have it. My dad has it, and I've tried stealing it off him, even though I bought it for him, and he won't let me have it because the Guards books are his favourite, and my sister's favourite are the Witches.
You need to come down to 66 books. You need to come down.
I know. I need to figure out how to get there because it's a long way for me. But yeah, I don't have that.
Always make it a massive trip and go to Yelk next year. Because
I was going to go to Yelk last year. Ooh. I was about to buy tickets when COVID happened.
Yeah, didn't we all say we were gonna go? Like we
were all gonna go, and then COVID happened.
Yeah, and then we couldn't do it this year, even though I wanted.
We were going to get an apartment.
Yeah,
and someone else was going to share it with us, and I can't remember who it was.
Was it Sam?
I don't think so.
Or was it one of Steph's friends?
It might have been one of Steph's friends.
I think probably Steph.
So we were all going to do that, and then because I don't think it's that far from London, is it?
No, but I don't know if it falls on the same weekend. That's the same problem because it's only one.
Yeah, it is.
So whether it lines up, I have no idea because I don't think they've released the schedule for next year. I'm definitely going to be going again. It's just really annoying because I do want to obviously get stuff for people that like you who live way too far away. Like already for me, it's like a 2.5 hour journey depending on traffic. But obviously for you, it's a lot longer. It's just not worth it for you to come, even though like collectively. Yeah, I can't remember how many books we bought because my mum got children's books for my nephew. She got loads of books for herself, and obviously then I got loads. And I got like the most expensive, like the £30 or £25 one. But all together, it came to like 300.
You mean like this one?
Yes, but I don't have the first one, so I'm gonna add it to my.
I've read the first one, and I really liked it. Hence, I bought a hardcover of the second.
Yeah, well, I got it for.
But yeah, I saw your video of this, and I was like, "You bastard! I just bought that off Amazon, used, but still cost me £7."
I was close to getting The Trouble with Peace by Joe Abercrombie, but then I was like, I haven't read any of his books. I shouldn't really buy the next book in the I don't know what world that is. The Blade itself, and then it goes on to the other.
Yeah, there's the 3 Blade itself books, and then there's 3 technical standalones.
Yeah.
And then there's that trilogy after that, I think.
Is there a series after that as well? Or is this the same series that's coming out? I think it's the same series that all coming out at once.
I think it's the same series.
I will say the UK covers are really freaking boring. When I look at the UK and the US just have more details to them. Where I feel like the UK, it is just the same picture with different color flags. That's what it looks like to me. So I don't know whether I'd get the UK or the US. Depends if I even like it. But I do like Grimdark. So I think, I don't know. I just posted
so do I, but it's just, I don't know what it is. I don't like his books.
No, you said you didn't.
King got 3 stars.
I gave that 4 or 5.
And then I went to carry on, and I'm like, no, I don't like this. And I tried the Blade itself as well, and I DNF'd that at about 150 pages. Oh. Hello? Oh, I think she's on Goodreads. Did you try and go on Goodreads?
No, the camera just switched off. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were talking to me. Of course you could hear me.
No. Yeah. One thing I will say, though, UK editions, this looks humongous. This is like the same size as my Brandy Sandy books, which are huge. It's only 750 pages.
That's nice.
And it looks massive. I said that about the first one as well.
That looks bigger than this. Compare them. It's bigger.
UK publishers are using really thick paper at the minute. So all the books are like thicker than my Stormlight books, and they don't even have as many pages.
Yeah, but those they have Bible thin. Those ones.
But I like those because they stay open.
That's true.
Because I've got the American Mystery one as well.
You got the paperbacks, haven't you? Of the
paperbacks are the first 3, but I got the American hardcover for the 4th one, so that all the cover art matches.
Yeah, I was adamant I was going to get the US of the Stormlight Archives because I don't like that if you get the paperbacks in the UK, they're split.
Yeah.
I ain't got space for that because you're talking about 2 chunky books rather than just one tall kind of chunky book.
Yeah.
So I plus I like the art a lot on the US ones. I think they're really pretty. And very much I like
currently have the first 3 Stormlight books.
You what?
Dave needed some books to move his screen up, so he took my first 3 Stormlight archives because they're all the same size. So he's used them to move his monitor up in his room. Oh.
Can he not use his own books?
He doesn't have books. He doesn't read. Quickly, because he did actually listen to the audiobook for Mort. He was struggling reading it because most of the Discworld books don't have chapters.
Oh, no,
it's all continuous. But
I hate long chapters.
Do you know Tony Robinson? Yeah, actor. He does Tan Team now. He was in Blackadder and stuff. Played Baldric.
No.
Well, anyway, he was friends with Terry Pratchett, and he said to him, like, where there's footnotes and stuff, and he goes off on tangents. He's like, some of this isn't needed. Can I do abridged versions of the books and take some of the bump out? So he did that, and he recorded the audiobooks, and they are fantastic. He is great. Yeah. He had Terry Pratchett's permission to do the abridged versions.
Right for asking him that. Can I change your book while I'm reading it?
Well, it was getting a lot of feedback from younger people because my dad's been reading them since the 80s. I wasn't born until the end of the 80s. So,
I imagine, like, from what I've read of like old school fantasy to like new, the editing has drastically changed for the better. I think that's why a lot of like old books struggle when people read them now, is because they're quite dense, and then with the chapters being so long, or some of them not even having very clear chapters. You know, like I tried to read, what was it? Was it Catherine Kerr, Dagger Spell? I read the first one, it was okay, and I tried to read the second one. I DNF'd it in the end because I was just like, I can't. Like, it was just like the first one was like I got through it, and I was like, that was a lot, and like I didn't enjoy myself. I would say, like, it was just, yeah. I think I gave the first one like 3 stars. I was like, I'll continue because I own them, and then I was like, nope, I didn't like that at all.
Well, I mean, I was saying this the other day because I mean, my current audio is an R.A. Salvatore book. I'll be really surprised. I needed something easy because I've started back at work.
Which one is that?
This is Promise of the Witch King, which is
I have the
R.A. series.
Yeah, I've got something to do with orcs. I think is one of the ones I've got. I found it in a charity shop, and I think I remember you telling me
1,000 orcs.
Yeah, you're like, that's like the 20.
Did I go no? But yeah. This is kind of like an offshoot. This is following some of the side characters from the Drizzt section of the world.
Oh.
And I love them. So this is book 2 in the series. The first one is Servant of the Shard.
Is it Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Is that pretty much what it is? Yeah. I've never played.
The books are what most of the tabletop games are actually based off of.
Oh. Yeah, because oh, sorry. Turn this. I had that light on it. It's like on the bed. Probably gonna burn a hole from my bed.
So, like, R.A. Salvatore tends to deal with the Drow, who are dark elves who live underground in Menzoberranzan, and they're evil. They worship spider gods. They just go out on raids and they kill people and they kill each other, and they're terrible. Because I have one here, because I've branched out into the world now that I've finished Drizzt.
Isn't there a
There's
movie?
I
Like
don't know.
I swear I've seen, and it's probably really awful, but I remember seeing a Dungeons and Dragons movie. Hold on, let me just. I don't know if it. Oh, that's much better. It was really dirty.
I've seen cartoon ones.
I remember it was a live action, and it was either it must have been like early 2000s, I guess. I'm not 100%. Google it. There was like it was called Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if it had anything to I don't know if it was actually anything to do with it, but I remember it getting terrible reviews. It was like, because obviously they're such big fans of like the games and like the lore and all the kind of like, it's quite a serious game for people. And then like they brought a movie out, called it Dungeons and Dragons. People watched it, were like, what the
I think it was the same with the Warcraft films as well.
Yeah.
Of the people who actually played World of Warcraft didn't like the film, but the people who didn't play World of Warcraft did like it.
I haven't seen, because I used to play it yonks ago now, and I haven't seen the film. But I just don't feel like you can make a film because the game's not really like, I don't know. There's certain books and certain games you could make a film out of. Like Prince of Persia wasn't a bad movie because it worked as a movie, like it did a game. Witcher. I mean, like I've tried to play the Witcher games, and that's probably another really unpopular opinion. Is I don't really like the Witcher games. I tried to play. Huh?
I got stuck on the first boss and rage quit, and I've not played it again. It is installed on my PlayStation, so I will try it again. But I don't like the games where you have to gather things and make things, and
yeah,
it says after loving Diablo and whatever else.
Yeah, because I've recently been playing Dying Light, which is like it's like zombies and parkour mixed together, and in that you do have to kind of gather things to make weapons and to make. But it's cool because you get to jump over buildings, and it's kind of fun that way. There's certain games that I know as soon as I start playing them, I was like, I'm not gonna get on with this game style, like the way it's played, like the mechanics of
world ones where you have to gather everything. I don't really get along with them.
No, sometimes it depends, and it depends on the subject. Like running around, like trying to avoid zombies, is fun to me. But I do like story driven. Like I like The Last of Us. I like Tomb Raider. I like Prince of Persia because they're all very story driven games. Witcher has a good story. It does. Like the cutscenes were really cool, but I couldn't. It's just like no, this isn't for me. And I don't want to ruin it because I really like the show. Started reading the books. I'm not sure about that yet. I haven't started the proper books yet. I've started like the short stories.
I like the short stories, and I liked the first book. I like Blood of Elves. And then when I went to carry on, I think they switched the narrator in the audiobooks, and he says dandelion instead of dandelion. And I'd audiobooks them all, and I'm sat going, I can't. It's dandelion. His name is Dandelion. In no way is that dandelion. And I remember saying
they would have corrected him with the first
because I was so angry about it.
But like honestly, why didn't they correct him on that? Like that's not how
I don't get why they didn't keep the original name like they have in the TV show where he's called Jaskier.
Yeah.
I don't get why they didn't keep the name. It's not like it's the weirdest fantasy name.
It's too girly. Maybe you didn't want it to be that. I'm gonna continue, but I've not heard the best, and I've heard that like a lot of it doesn't even have like Geralt in it, which is like the reason I want to read it.
So although at least it's a finished series, so if you do like it, you can just keep going.
I own most of them, so I found them all in charity shops or cheap.
I did. I found them all in charity shops and went, you know what, if I'm going to carry on with this, it'll probably be by audio. Steph, do you want the copies? Because she wanted them, so she took mine. But yeah, the annoying thing is because I've liked the Drizzt books so much, I thought I'm going to branch out. I'm going to read more in this world. They're all out of print.
Oh no.
So I managed to find the first book in this series, which is Sword Mage. And I mean, look at that.
That's pretty. Where'd you find that? That's like new. Did you put that? Is it got like plastic film in it or not?
No, it's just really shiny. It's the American edition. because in the UK it was only published in mass market, and it's between £15 and £35 for a used, not good condition mass market over here because they're out of print. Or it was £12 for the American hardback with £3 shipping from America. So I bought the American copies because my first one I managed to get in hardback from World of Books. So I'm like,
I don't know. I don't trust World of Books.
So I've got
World
these.
of Books are. I think World of Books are just like they've got too much of a bad reputation for me to trust them.
They're not that bad. My issue is,
depends on the price.
Before that, I don't like it. I only get like really cheap stuff. It was like £2 something, so I don't care if it's wrong. But if I'm looking for a specific cover, I will not go on there because they don't make sure that the picture they put up matches the ISBN. And if you try and complain that they've not sent you the one that they've advertised, they'll go, oh, well, it says in our disclaimer that you have to check the ISBN to make sure that you're getting the right one.
Yeah.
So I have to Google all of them. If I'm fussed and I want a particular edition, I don't buy from them.
No.
But I've managed to get a couple of others from different authors in the world, but most of them I've had to text Kat, who I used to work with, being like, Kat, do you have any of them? And she's given me a stack that's like up here somewhere.
Oh, that's nice. They're all out of print, are they?
Borrowed because, yeah. So she's bought them all. The only ones that are still in print are the Drizzt ones. Even there was a series of them that she sent to me, but it only released on Kindle. It never released in physical. And I like them for my collection.
Yeah, because you've got most of them, so it makes sense even to spend a little bit on them because you know, like the world.
Like,
so
yeah, like, I have no issue buying used, but I don't want to pay 15. Some of them for the mass market, they were trying to charge over £100 for just a used, acceptable mass market paperback.
Yeah, some of the like prices are ridiculous for stuff, but I mean, like, it's one of those things. Like, once it goes out of print, I don't know how it works, but because obviously some things do come back in print, which is weird. Like all the hardback UK Brandon Sandersons. Well, actually saying that, I don't think there's any word on the second one, but Wild Kings came back into print, and then obviously people bought it and were like, "What are you gonna release Words of Radiance too? Can you do that?" And
they just went silent.
And then they're just like, "Nah, it's just that one." It's like, what? Because obviously people want like the because as you buy them when they're new, obviously you can get the hardback, and it's one book.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Like, it makes sense to me, but
it.
Something I am reading right now.
I have that on my NetGalley and I'm scared to read it.
I didn't get accepted. So when Sam had finished her copy, I was like, Sam, she met up, she came into Bath and we met up.
Yeah, I saw that she's
with me, with you. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to Oxford for my birthday. So we're going to meet up then as well because she's quite close to it. So I have to read it by then so I can give it back to her. But
have you guessed what the next couple of Fairy Loot books are?
Yes. And guess what? Who got subscribed to Illumicrate? I did. I was like,
are you getting the September box?
I'm getting August and September.
I screamed when I saw that. I was like, they don't normally tell you the book, do they? And everyone was like, no, they don't normally tell you the exact book.
Sometimes it's so obvious by like the spoiler art they choose
artwork
and stuff. Like, come on, look at that artwork and don't like who would not have guessed?
Like the July box.
Yeah. Like, honestly, it's a bit obvious. You know what I mean? But no, I was going to do a trade with someone because someone was looking for some pre-order incentive that I'd got. And I got it just because it was, why wouldn't you get a pre-order incentive? But she really wanted it. And I saw that she gets a Illumicrate. I was like, oh, you're going to get the September. Would you? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I'll trade, but I probably want a little bit for it as well. So I was going to give her money plus the stuff to trade for it. And then instead, obviously, it turned around that I got subscribed. So I messaged her. I was like, actually, I'm subscribed now. So can we do a different trade? So she traded me for something off my Amazon wish list. And I chose something that you've read. But I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to make you wait. I mean, like, saying it's something you've read
I've read a
doesn't really
lot
narrow
of
it down. It's something you read not long ago, definitely this year. It's a big book, and you really liked it. You have the sequel. I don't think you've read the sequel yet. You might have read the sequel. It has a really cool cover. There's a horse on the cover. let's just start making this a guessing game. It's got a horse.
Is it the Forgetting Moon?
Yeah, it is. Oh my god, you did
I
that
was
real
turning around.
quick.
It's
I thought
that.
I was being quite vague. Oh, you want to say like face down? Yeah.
It's not a face out, but it kind of goes by author, like going round. So it's like that.
To be fair, I said so you read this year. You've
Like
got
it's a
you read
horse.
the
So I was like, what covers have a horse on it? That one.
sequel? Yeah. What was like £18 for the hardback? So I was like, is that all right? And she was like,
You
yeah.
seen how
Sounds
big
good.
they are?
No. I like me a hardback, you know. I like hardbacks because they stay open easier than paperbacks do. Oh god. Freaking thing. I mean, like, to be fair, like, compared to Dragon Mage, it's about the same. So. Oh my goodness, it's gonna fall over.
It's 760. But if it's the same as the paperback, the writing's pretty big in it.
It's good
Like
with
Dragon
me.
Mage. But the
Yeah.
second one is like 900 pages.
Wow.
And the third one is still with the editor because everything got pushed back because of COVID. Because I follow him on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel.
Oh, interesting.
And he reads a lot of older fantasy as well. So I get a lot of recommendations off of him.
Yeah, I'd like to find more people that read like really underrated fantasy because I feel like Bookstagram, you don't really get underrated. Like I posted today about the Rob J. Hayes books.
I need to carry on with that series.
Yeah, I need to check on that post actually. I don't know if it's done any well or not. But
I liked it.
I loved it, and it's definitely grimdark. Like I would say, people that don't read grimdark don't read it because like you will not like it. It's very graphic and very heavy. But no, I think he's a really underrated author that no one really talks about. But I think he's got the same skills as like some of the higher rated authors. So
yeah,
it's hard because I want to get those people's names out, but then those posts, no one sees them, no one interacts with them, no one like cares, and I just feel bad because then like when an author sends me their book and then they see my follower number, they're like, oh wow, I get this massive audience. Like, well, actually, when I post your books, they just don't do as well. Like, although saying that, Malice, which John Gwynne is obviously getting more popular. It feels like with Shadow of the Gods, he started to like become more.
Yeah.
Because I don't really heard of his like anyone talk about him really. I heard like people talk about Fateful and Fallen, but not like oh look, read this, you know, not crazy. Like lately, it seems like everybody's reading his books. But that post that I put up got like 3,000 likes, and I was like, what? But I'm glad because it gets his name out there to some people that have said like, oh, I've seen this around. Should I read it? I'm like, yes, please read it. So yeah, some books that are like more lesser known sometimes do well, but then the posts where I just know when I post it, I'm like, no one's gonna interact with this because no one's gonna go, oh, I want to read that. So
it's
I really
really
want to set
sad.
I want to set up an engagement group, but like not like you have to engage otherwise you get kicked out kind of group. Just like kind of like general to chat about fantasy, to chat about like upcoming releases, to post if you see something like an author announce a book, something like that. But like for adult fantasy and like self-published and like for more people that read that side.
I've been in a couple of engagement groups and I'm like, I don't fit in here. I don't read what you guys read.
Yeah, because that's the thing when like people post like a lot of romance books or a lot of contemporary, I'm just sat there and like, I don't really know what to say about this. Like, it sounds good, I guess.
I can't
glad you liked
comment
it, but...
on it. I don't really want to share it because people who follow me like what I like.
When like the question of the day is like, what's your favorite romance? I'm like, I don't read romance. Or like, what's your favorite classic? I'm like, I don't read classics.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Is that going down?
Me.
Lord of the Rings.
They're like, what Jane Austen have you read? I'm like, I haven't read
none.
Any.
I have Pride and Prejudice because Steph wanted me to at least try it because it's one of her favourite books. But it's not technically on my TBR list because I don't know when or if I will ever get to it. But it was 50p in a charity shop, so.
Yeah. Well, you're a mood reader as well, so like, It's very, you got to be in the mood for it, and that you definitely need to be in the mood for it. Like, I do read other genres. I do read contemporary every now and again. I don't read straight up romance. Really, I mean, like, I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and I enjoyed that, and it is very romance heavy, but I like to try them, and then if I find one that I like, that's when I'm like, right, this is coming from someone who doesn't like romance, doesn't like contemporary. I liked this, so if you like contemporary, you're more likely to enjoy it.
This was my problem.
In style of books, yeah, it's very true. Like, it's hard to engage with people that don't read what you read.
I ended up in a group with people who mainly read like contemporary and romance and stuff, and then I'm sat there with my dragons and my necromancy going, I don't fit in here. I don't know what to comment on your post about it, or and I mean, Kerry reads a lot of different genres as well, I think, if I remember correctly. She doesn't
Maybe
just
we could
read.
set one up. Maybe we could set a group up on Instagram.
And you can be in our group.
Yeah, well,
just commandeering it. It's our group now, not yours.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, honestly, like, it doesn't matter who's in it. Like, obviously, more so just adding people that are interested, but just obviously, I don't want to make it like exclusive, but it will kind of be exclusive. Like, for more people that read fantasy, for the majority of what they read, like the 90% fantasy, and you could 10% anything else. You know, you could still post stuff in there if it's like a contemporary book you read this one, but like, we'd be chatting fantasy, we'd be sharing about fantasy series, you know, promoting self-published books that we've read, kind of thing, to kind of get more people. Because sometimes I do read a self-published that I bought myself that I haven't been sent for a review, and I don't then really talk about it because, again, post it on Instagram, no one really cares. So it's just, it would be nice to have a group where we could have that kind of little, you know. So I might do that. I might like put it in my story and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and it would be like,
go on.
It wouldn't be like, because I know some, obviously there's rules in engagement groups, and I get it. Like, you know, you want to be fair, and that's fine. But also, some people are busy. Some people, you know,
it just makes me avoid Instagram when they're like, you've had 50 notifications through the day. You have to go and like every single post and save every single post and do this and do this. And I'm just like, I'm just not going to log in. I'm not going to do it. I work 8:30 till 5 every day. I don't always have the brain power to go and be social.
And Instagram is a lot of hard work, really. Like, because for me now, because I do a lot of reviews, I feel like sometimes I get overwhelmed, and I still need to start saying no to people. But obviously, like in the start, I was reaching out to people, and now that obviously my account's grown a lot of people are reaching out to me. I feel the tremendous guilt of like, I want to say yes to all of them, but I'm also like, I'm so behind on so many review copies. So they're really nice and sweet, and they send you that like a really nice message, like, I love your account. I see that you read a lot of like similar books to like what I read. I'm like, it does sound really good, but I don't want to like promise you when I like literally have so many. I'm literally making August review copy month. Like, everything's just review copies. Like, I'm reading the Maleficent. Why can't I say that?
Like the Dragon in Sleeping Beauty.
Maleficent.
Yeah.
Maleficent 7. I'm reading that, and then probably going to pick up 7 Deaths of an Empire. I need to pick up Windborn. I've got another. I really need to prioritize the ones that authors sent me themselves over publishers a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to. I'm either going to do 7 Deaths of an Empire next, or I'm going to do Windborn. And then obviously you got to read Shadowless for this month as well. But
well, I mean, I think I'm having to be realistic now, because now that I'm back in my old job, I can't listen to audiobooks when I work anymore. It's not allowed.
Oh no. Are you you're not working from home then? You're actually going into the
No, office? I'm actually in the office.
Oh no.
Although my boss has said that she agrees with me, and she doesn't see why it can't be seen. It doesn't affect how I work. I can have it in the ear that's next to the window that's away from everyone else, so I can hear. So she's going to try and campaign, because I'm like, if I'm having a really anxious day, I need something on. Otherwise, I'm just going to be het up all day.
Well, you've got those little wireless ones. To be fair, if you wore your hair down, people probably wouldn't even see it. So
it'd be in this ear, so you ain't going to see it under all this law.
Yeah.
But it's like, normally by Wednesday I would have finished at least 1 or 2 audiobooks so far. I've done this much.
On.
And then I physically read half of it.
But how many books have you read so far this year? Are you in the 300 mark yet? Are you almost at the 300 mark?
203.
Oh, really? I thought you'd be like further than that. The amount you read.
I'm down on last year, but I'm reading bigger books.
Yeah.
And less manga and graphic novels than I did last year. So my page count is...
I don't really read any manga and graphic novels. The thing is with me is that I feel like they're pricey and they're long and I read them so quick. It is an expensive genre for me because obviously I just want to keep going, but they're like £10 a time, £12 a time. I'm like, I can't afford that.
I get why they're expensive, but then I'm kind of like you. So I've got like the Kindle Comixology app. So when stuff goes on sale on there and it's like 79p an issue, I'm like, I'm just going to buy all the issues for 79p because it works out cheaper.
Yeah.
And buy them on my Kindle. Or like I was looking for Dungeons and Dragons graphic novels. And I found some where it's the first 3 Drizzt books, but graphic novel form. And that bind up of the 3 graphic novels was like £19. And there's another set where it's 3 graphic novels all in one for £19. I'm like, it cost me £10 just for one. So I've just bought the bind up and I'm partway through one of them.
I mean, I get it. Manga and graphic novels, there's a lot of art that goes
because of the artwork.
It's a lot of work. Like when you think about it, like obviously writing a story is a lot of work, but to do the art whilst also thinking of a story and having, you know, it'll fit and like be able to be like it's really amazing. Like, and that's the thing. I only really like certain types of art as well in graphic novels. Like I've noticed that I like black and white over color. I don't know why.
Oh really? You might like manga then, because they tend to be black and white.
Yeah, because I was reading Full Metal Alchemist, which some of it's in color. No, it is in color.
Is it?
Is it?
The paperback is black and white. The first couple of pages are usually in color in manga, and then it switches to black and white.
I have the Full Metal editions, like the hardback.
Oh, mine was the paperback original one, so it might be in color. I can't remember.
It's downstairs. Okay, but no, it might be black and white. I don't know. But I love The Walking Dead, and they're all black and white, and it works really well for it. I absolutely love. I've read the entire Walking Dead now. Such a good. It's 32 volumes, which is a lot. And they cost me when I actually add up how much it all cost together. I was like, ugh. I mean, technically, I didn't buy the first 10. They're my boyfriend's brothers, and I just stole them.
Yeah.
He's never asked for them back. I also have his PS4 that I've stolen, and he hasn't asked for it back. So I'm like, okay, I'll just keep it.
I'll just keep it. So, I do that.
No, you don't want it. That's fine. I can't afford a PS4, so that's okay. But yeah,
I have a PS5, so.
I couldn't even afford any of the games on a PS5, so there'd be no point buying it because games are pricey.
To be fair, you can play PS4 games on it. It accepts the discs.
I like when they do that. I hated when they pull out the new ones and they're like, can't play the old ones. And it's like, but now I've got to have 2 consoles plugged in.
Yeah, it's like some of the newer games, like the Drizzt game, to just be a broken record. I bought that on PS4 because I had a PS4 and then I got a PS5, but it has a thing of you put the disc in the PS5 and it goes, you get a free upgrade to the PS5 version and you can download the PS5 one from the store. It's got like better graphics and stuff.
I love when they do that. Like they did that with The Last of Us and I didn't end up getting it because I saw like I was looking on YouTube for like a comparison between the two to see like how much better, but because the original game was already so good because it's just before the PS4 came out.
Oh yeah.
So it was already like at the highest quality of a PS3. And so I saw the difference. I was like, it doesn't look much different. But what I did get was all the Uncharted games because that first came out on like PS2, I think, or something like that. So I got all the Uncharted remastered. Oh my god, the graphics are so much better. Like when you compare them, literally go onto YouTube and put Uncharted versus remastered, and the difference is crazy. So because it's like my favorite series, that game series, Nathan Drake. I'm angry about the movie because Tom Holland isn't Nathan Drake to me. I don't know why they cast Tom Holland. Like, I get maybe a
I've
young
not
Nathan
played,
Drake.
so I don't know.
Oh, he's like one of the best video game characters of all time. I absolutely adore Nathan Drake. Like, I would read books about him. They need to write books. Maybe there is books. I don't know. I'll have to go Google it.
Like Assassin's Creed books and stuff, and there's God of War books.
Oh, that's true. I'd have to Google that now.
Because I know I got God of War, the one. It went on sale on PlayStation just as I got this one. I was like, Steph, it's like £6 on the PS Store. Do I get it? She's like, yes, get it, yes, it's Vikings, get it. I was like,
yeah, I want to get it.
I guess I'm buying it then. Because I've not played God of War before.
No, I haven't played it, but I have seen like gameplay of it and I really want to play it. I want to play God of War. I want to play Red Dead Redemption. I really want to play that. The other one I really want to play is the new is there like a new is it Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yes, that one. I really want to play that because I played the original game a little bit, but
I wasn't big on the original ones, but it's probably because it wasn't mythology and stuff that I was interested in.
Yeah. Whereas like Vikings.
Yeah.
Always give the Vikings. So yeah.
I keep getting distracted by seeing my nails go across and like they need redoing at this point.
Yeah, I need to do mine as well. I've not painted my nails for years, and I finally decided to paint the other day. The only thing I will say is that when I look at them, the color is different to like say if I take a picture of them, because it's mushroom. But on camera, when I like take a picture, like when I've taken pictures with,
is it the Barry M mushroom?
it's Primark.
Oh,
literally £1.50 nail polish. I bought it on a whim because I was like, I don't wear nail polish. Oh, but it's £1.50. I'll just get it. It's okay quality. I mean, like obviously it's chipping now because I've been wearing it for like a week, which isn't a long time really when you think of nail polish. But also, it's Primark. It cost me £1.50. I did buy today though.
All right, actually.
Yeah, I bought a base coat and a top coat. Because I want to like reapply it, but obviously if I put maybe a base coat and the top coat, which I've never done before. I don't do my nails like you do, Kat. And I literally only put the nail polish on because my nails have gotten really long, and if I didn't put something on them, they break really easily at work because I do like a lot.
Mine are the same.
Mine are very like because my job is quite physical and it always gets caught. Like I literally have one stubby one on this hand because it got caught. I was so upset. It was like the first day I'd gone in after I'd painted them. I was like, for Christ's sake. Because now my hand looks weird because they're all nice and long and then there's just like this stub in the middle of them.
Well, that's why I started doing the extensions where I did polygel last year and these are now acrylic that I'm learning. Because especially with all the hand washing and sanitizing and stuff, they were just chipping for fun with normal nail polish. And when like I've done a design on them and everything, I don't want to have to do them again 2 days later.
No. Yeah, your nails always look great. Mine are like I barely know how to paint them.
But they're still on.
Very pretty. Jurassic Park. You were so excited about that. Like, guys, guess what I've got? Jurassic Park now. So
I went on just looking for a checkered stamping plate and it was just like, look at our new Jurassic Park collection everywhere. I was like, I'm going back for the next two when I get paid.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're excited about the new movie then. Yeah. I'm excited about the new movie. I didn't realize it was coming out.
I want to reread Jurassic Park.
I actually found Jurassic Park and The Lost World in hardcover in a charity shop.
Really?
I have them. Let me go get them. Hold on. Let me just put this. Oh, hold on.
It's gonna run away.
You don't even want to see my like what I'm sitting on at the minute. You probably have to sit. Oh no! It's about to fall over. Wait. Let me go again.
I just realised I'm live and I should probably still be talking, but I got distracted because a really big cloud that looks like it's going to thunder came over. And now I'm dark.
And you're actually very. I'm very bright now because this light.
I was just saying, like a massive like thundercloud has just come over. I don't like thunder. I don't like loud noises. Did I ever show you my hot water bottle that I got?
No.
It might actually be good for when you're feeling poorly.
Oh, cute. Does it like wrap around you?
Yeah.
I need that.
You can like hug him like this, and he's like down on my legs, or you can wrap him around you, like if your back's hurting or whatever.
And so it's like you fill the whole thing with water.
Yeah.
Ah, I have to get one of those.
Like the entire thing
sucked.
is.
Yeah, with the hot weather, it's really sucked because can't have a hot bath, can't have my hot water bowl, and my lower back pain at the minute.
Oh, I still have hot baths. I just die afterwards.
I almost feel like I'm gonna pass out if I have a hot bath and it's hot outside, because it takes me so long to get cool. But yeah, so
show me the hardcovers because I have a really old paperback.
Yeah, so this one is 2 novels in one, so it's Jurassic Park and Congo. It's actually really good condition, but it's
Ooh.
So, but yeah, look, it's pretty good condition. How much did I pay for this? I just don't know. Oh, £1.
£1. That's really good.
I don't know if this is like a first edition. I doubt it because it's like a bind up. 1993. I can never tell with the first edition. Can you see? Like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Lift it up a little bit, then I can see the bottom of that page.
It's really hard to find the camera.
Oh, I don't know. Normally it has like a series of numbers across the bottom, and the lowest number in that series is what edition it is. That doesn't seem to have a list of numbers.
Doesn't. It just says. No, I don't think. No, it's not a first edition, I don't think, because Congo apparently was written in 1980. Apparently.
Yeah, that's an older one.
And then Jurassic Park was 1991, but this came out in 1993, so around the same time. And then The Lost World is this one.
See, I've got a really ratty old paperback because when I was in primary school and I started liking dinosaurs and I wanted to watch it, because I think I know, don't. I was like 8 when the film came out, and my oldest brother used to do a thing of, if you can read the book and you're fine with the book, I'll watch the film with you. So I read Jurassic Park when I was like 8. Loved it and still watched the film. I remember taking it to my friend's house and he was sat watching Gladiator and I'm sat there reading Jurassic Park.
I love Gladiator too. I think this is the first edition, this one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Doesn't it usually, if like the numbers are like
oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah, that is.
This one's not as in good it does have a little tear. So it's not as good condition like
but I saw from the front it looks great. Have you seen the Folio Society Jurassic Park?
No. Is it pretty?
Oh, it's so pretty, but it's 40 quid and I can't make myself buy it saying, oh, it's a favourite book when I've not read it for over 20 years.
No.
I've not tried Price.
It was sat next to them and I was just like, well, it's kind of like a
thing I will say his writing's really dry.
Yeah, that's fine. I've read plenty like that.
Quite factual and stuff.
This is obviously not about dinosaurs. This is about I think it's like
he writes kind of thriller science fiction type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it has the word micro robots. It's like a gas that escapes and there's micro robots in it or something like that. But it's like it's intelligent. I can't speak. Programmed as a predator. So it's like, I guess, kind of similar vibes of like something killing stuff, something killing people. But yeah, I didn't realize this had dinosaurs on the inside. Ah, wait.
You're making me want to buy hardcover editions of it.
But hey, if I don't like it, you can have
5
it.
years.
If it's not my thing. Oh, this doesn't have dinosaurs on the inside. That's not fun.
Going back to like the engagement group thing and stuff, I kind of feel like, because a lot of what I read is older stuff, people don't interact because they don't know it's out of print or whatever. Like my physical read at the minute is Mercedes Lackey. This is the second one.
Which one?
The first one. This one's Magic Promise. Look at that cheesy 80s cover.
Oh, I love the cheesy.
Is the first one Thorn's Magic or Magic's Pawn? Which sounds weird. Magic's Pawn. As in like a chess pawn, not...
Or like pawn shop. Pawn. Actually, that sounds bad as well.
But the first one of these was written in 1989, and it was the first fantasy with an openly gay character, and he's the main character.
Wow.
And I love him. I know
you like Mercedes Lackey, don't you? You've read a lot of
The
books.
only thing is, I think it's because it's an older writing style. I read her slowly.
Yeah.
I only read about 50 pages an hour with her, which is slow for me. Yeah. And she does do like 30-page chapters like Robin Hobb. But I love her. I had to put this down at dinner because they don't publish these editions anymore in single. They do them as like bind-ups of each trilogy.
Okay.
So on Kindle, I think one of them, again, it's quite a big world and you can read them in any order you want. The Black Griffin series that I read earlier in the year is set in this world as well. A couple of those bind-ups on Kindle at the minute are 99p and you get all 3 books. So I'm reading this technically on my Kindle, and I had to put my Kindle away at dinner because it was about to make me cry in the middle of everybody eating the dinner.
Oh, no.
Oh, this was supposed to be a nice book because it's a familiar author. I know the world. I know the magic system. And I'm sat going, oh, it's going to make me cry. I'm going to have to put it down.
Yeah, there's certain authors I won't read or listen to in public. And that is definitely Sarah J. Maas.
I can't do Robin Hobb or Sarah J. Maas in public because they both make me sob.
Yeah, well, now I've learnt John Gwynne is one. He's been added to the list. I'm not allowed to read him in public because he will hurt me.
I'm trying to reread Malice. I'm getting stuck. And I don't know if it's because I remember too much about it that I don't want to reread it because I'm like, I already know what's going to happen.
How far are you into it? Like
200 pages. I've read all of it before. I 5-starred it when I first read it.
Maybe just read the ending, because if you remember most of it, maybe just refresh yourself with like the ending part of the book, so that when you go into the next one, you're like, right, that's just happened. Let's start the next one.
Because I know I read Malice in 2019, and then last year I tried reading Valor, and I don't know if there's a time jump or whatever, but I'm sat going, I don't get what's going on.
I had to reread it because I tried to read Valor, and I was like, I don't remember. It's the same with like I had to reread all of the Chorus of Dragons because I started listening to the House of Always, and I was like, I don't know who anyone is anymore. I can't remember. It's the problem with that series. I do like it and I do enjoy it when I actually get into it. I have a fear that when the next one comes out, I'm gonna have the same thing where I'm like, I don't remember, and there's no recap online.
November, I think.
Can someone recap it, please? Because I've already forgotten most of it. I remember some things, but then I'm just like, probably really important stuff. I
think I'm going to have to see is the next one the last one, because I kind of read Ruin of Kings and
it's 5 books, yeah. So Ruin of Kings, Name of Things.
I read the first 2 relatively close together. I read 3 and 4 both in May.
Yeah, so Ruin of Kings.
Oh, Memory of Souls.
Memory of Souls, House of Always, and I can't remember what the last one is.
No, it's Ruin of Kings, Name of All Things, Memory of Souls, and then House of Always. I've got them backwards on my shelves, which is why it took me a minute. That's going to really irritate me now because they're the wrong way around.
But no, yeah, so
again, I kind of read 2 together, so it kind of meant it in my mind a bit more because I'm doing a big chunk all together because I was late to the series.
Every time I review it,
6, I might just wait and do 5 and 6 because it's a lot.
have you not read the fifth one yet? I thought you
Not
had.
the fifth one.
Not House of Always? Wait.
I read
It's 5 books.
Fifth one will be out in November.
Yeah, that's it. That's the last one.
Mm.
I googled it the other day because I was interested to see.
So that's okay. So I can read that as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
Then.
The fifth one's definitely last because I thought it would be 6 books, but then I googled it because I wanted to see, because I think I might have mentioned in my review, because I wanted to see for myself, because reading obviously I think this one again I didn't love as much. Possibly.
Mine
I don't
went
think I love this one as much.
4.54 in ratings. It kind of like, it's a fantastic book, not quite as good. A fantastic book, not quite as good. So I'm hoping
that's
the
what
last
happened with
one's
me.
great.
For me, it was 4.343 again, but I gave him like 3.5. But obviously, rating on Goodreads is a 3.
Yeah.
But no, every time I review that series, I do like always put a disclaimer of like, I don't think this will be for everyone. It's very dense. Don't read it if you don't read adult fantasy, because even I struggle.
And unreliable narrators, and I love it. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, people are different people, so there's like a lot of people as it is, and
they
then it's like,
pretend to be other people.
Is actually this person, and they can also be this person. It's like, what? There's many times I'm like, wait, so who's this again? And I suppose it's supposed to do that. It's supposed to put you in like the mind frame of like the characters of like, can't trust anybody because you don't know who anyone is. I get it kind of, but like, I think the narrative style is something I do kind of enjoy sometimes, but at the same time, it kind of also makes it extra convoluted when it doesn't really need to be. Like if you're going to have people that are not who they are as characters, maybe don't have people speak about themselves in third person whilst having people speak about themselves.
Yeah, that's a lot.
In first person.
Like, I've struggled with some of the Game of Thrones books as well, because there's a point where a couple of the characters aren't going by their original names because they're meant to be in hiding, so they're under different names. Like when Sansa is pretending to be Elaine, I think it said her name was. So then there were chapters from Elaine, and I'm just like going, who the fuck's Elaine? I don't know who that is. I'm like, oh, you mean Sansa?
Yeah.
Because then everyone starts referring to her as Elaine. I'm like, I just call the chapter Sansa, and then I remember who she is and what's going on. Don't put a random thing in.
Do you know I read recently? I don't think you liked it as much. I read The Black Coast by Mike Brooks.
I found it really confusing.
To be fair, it was quite. It took me a while to get my head around like because they speak about themselves in third. So they're like, this man.
That's what really put me off. This woman is going to do this, and this man is going to do this, and I'm sat going, just say I, me, my, just stop it.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it because it was different to read from, because obviously it works in the sense because they're talking a lot about like gender and people's, like it worked in a sense of like it was trying to make it so that everybody was kind of equal, and like it wasn't like they were referring to themselves as man and women. Like, the main chieftain was like calling herself a man, even though she didn't say like, oh, I am. It was very much, I want people to refer to me as a man because that's what's respected, and that's what I got told that you respect, so I want you to refer to me as a man. So it was like, I think it was very interesting. It did take me a while to get used to, but once I was used to it, I actually really enjoyed it, and I didn't like find it that bad. I give it 5 stars. I loved it. I can't wait for the
really.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next one. I love political fantasy where it's like, especially this, where they're like having to come together even though they've previously had like, quarrels with each other. Like, well, I say quarrels, like they raided their village and then they're like, can we come live with you in your village? And then they're obviously like, in this village where we allow same-sex marriage. It's like, that's not right. How do you make children? And they're like, we didn't really think about that. And like, it's just quite interesting to see people with very different viewpoints having to work together because there's a bigger evil. I love things like that, because I like political intrigue and people having to work together even though they hate each other. I guess it's like the enemies to lovers kind of thing. So I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was quite surprised. I didn't expect to, but I saw what you gave it. And I was like,
to love it.
I know you
I went
didn't.
into it thinking I'm going to absolutely love this. That cover is absolutely stunning. And like, I
The
think
sequel's
especially
very
now that we're
creative.
going to be getting more shelves, I think I'm going to keep it. And when the series is finished, I'm going to try rereading it because I did say in my review that I thought that it was absolutely fantastic that having different genders, different
Religion
pronouns
as
and
well.
stuff
Yeah.
and everything was just accepted. It wasn't weird to be gay. It wasn't weird to be in a woman's body and say that you're a man, or be in a man's body and want to be referred to in a feminine way. And I did really like the politics, but just the way they talked irritated me so much that I nearly threw the book across the room at one point, because I
Oh
had the
no.
audio on as well, which I think made it worse.
I
But
can
I
see
think if
where
I
it
had
could be
didn't
very
have the audio
50-50.
on, I think I would have skim read a lot of it. So it
Yeah.
still would have come out at the same rating because I wouldn't have read it all properly.
Yeah. I can see how it would either work for people or really wouldn't work for people. So it just depends on like if you can get used to it or not. Whereas I got used to it. Like it did jar me for the first. I was like, why is everyone talking about themselves? Like, like, and I was like, who are you talking about now when you say this man? I'm like, you talking about this person or are you talking about yourself? So I did get kind of like confused, but
Yeah, it's like,
then
are
I
you
got
talking about
used to
this man
it.
or this man?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know who you mean.
yeah. But then I did eventually really enjoy it. I need to like have a palate cleanser though because I've read so much like epic high fantasy lately that my mind's just. That's why I'm reading this because it's a little bit more like magical
Like,
fairies, like
yeah,
la la la,
women.
rather than people getting torn apart and like brutally murdered. Well, there might be. I don't know. I haven't gotten that.
Oh, yeah.
What chapter am I on? I'm only on like chapter 7. I need to get move on with it really. But obviously other things have just taken over, like review copies. I try to prioritize those. So I do this
Oh,
usually
yeah.
like just before I'm about to go to bed at night to relax because I can't read a lot of like the books I read before I go to bed because I get too engrossed, especially if they're
I
epic
get
fantasy. I'm like,
most and I'm
I can't.
overstimulated and I'm sat going, I can't read now because I want to know what happens next. Or I can't sleep
Yeah.
now because I want to know what happens next.
So I usually try to read something a bit more like easygoing when I go
Yeah.
before I go to bed.
But it's like I was chatting to someone before and I think I requested Under the Whispering Door, but I don't think I've got it because it's not here yet.
Oh
But that
no.
would have been a
I've got
really, really popular one. I think I was late answering the email because I was walking the dog when it came through.
I can't remember when I replied to it. I don't think it was like immediately. It was definitely the same day.
You're bigger
So I
than
checked
me
my
though,
list. Yeah, that shouldn't
follower
matter
wise.
then.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
because I
But
get
they
the
don't
same
even
amount of
care.
views per picture as a lot of bigger accounts do.
Yeah, but also like a lot of people get fantasy and they don't read fantasy. Like who these people get epic fantasies. Like I didn't like it. It was too hard. It's like well, because it's epic
It was
fantasy. It's
too
not.
hard. There were too many things. It was just so dark. That's because it's grimdark. Stop requesting grimdark if you don't like grimdark.
Stop requesting
Uh,
adult fantasy if you don't like adult fantasy. If you read a
but
lot of romance,
it's,
you read adult fantasy, it's gonna be jarring to you.
yeah. I mean, especially at the minute though, where I've just gone back into an office and I can't listen to audiobooks anymore until I've worked my magic on him a bit because it was short. Because my memory, once something's in it, it's in it.
Yeah,
I've gone back to a previous job. I've not worked there since last March. I'm doing everything I was doing before by myself, completely happy, no notes. I can just be left to it. And he's
yeah,
like, I knew I got you back for a reason. I'm like, you got me back because I was pushy and I rang up and said, have me back.
yeah,
But I'm having to admit that I'm having to read a more normal amount that's low for me, but it'd still be 2 or 3 books a week, which is quite high for some people. So I'm like, this
yeah,
will be my audio, this will be my physical, and I might do a graphic novel or a middle grade or something at the weekend.
yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I can't have physical review copies because I've still not finished the what's the new Brian Staveley one?
Empire of Ruin.
My brain just didn't want it. I
Um,
think it's because I finished the last Mortal Bond
Please don't say
literally
it.
the
Tell me
week
about it.
before. No, because it was down as being released in August originally. So I thought, right, okay, I finish it in June. I've got a month, I can read it in August. And they're like, oh yeah, you're on the blog tour on the 8th of July. Sorry, what? I can't read it by then. So Stephen said, oh yeah, it's fine, just put the blurb up if you can't read it, because we know it's chunky and we've not given you much notice because we changed the publication date. And I'm like,
yeah, to be fair, sometimes
don't
Tor
want
do
it
send
too
things.
big.
They send things really late, and they're like, you gotta read it, and that's the thing.
You've got to read it in 2 days.
Oh, House of Always took me ages, and I feel bad. It's the first time that I've not read it and reviewed it in a month like they ask. But I was like, I have to read the first 3 because I can't give it a fair review if my review is, well, I didn't really enjoy it because I don't remember what happened. Like, that's not really the book's fault. That's my fault. So, that took me obviously a while to get through those 3, and I listened to them all on audio as well. So that they're long ass books. But yeah, some of them obviously I get sent from like Angry Robots and Rebellion. They don't really say that I have to read it by a certain point. So some of those do get put on the back burner, but some of them I really want to read, so they do get read first.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to read the Maleficent 7, so I started it because I was like, I want to read it. So hopefully my review will go up tomorrow. I should finish it by tomorrow. So.
I've got. Oh my god, what is it? Dragon Extravagant, the Yunhao Lee one from Rebellion.
Phoenix Extravagant?
That's it. It's because it has a big dragon on the cover.
I have the worst memory ever.
I've got that.
But when it comes to books and movies, my brain is like, I remember everything. You asked me what I did last week? No. You asked me what my plans are this weekend?
No.
I have to now message people.
I know that. I've had to rearrange this.
I have to message people like, did we have plans? And they're like, yeah. And like, why do you not? I was like, I don't know. My memories. I blame it on the hormones. My hormones are out of whack. I just can't think of anything else right now. I'm calorie counting right now, so my mind's like filled with like how many calories are in everything. So
yeah. So I've got Phoenix Extravagant, and that's my only thing from the publisher. And then Shadowless, the author, did actually send it to me, but I did tell him when he sent it, I'm like, I'm a big mood reader. I have a lot on, so I can't guarantee when I'm going to get to this. And he's like, yeah, that's fine.
He didn't have an Instagram, so I wasn't able to tag him in the Instagram post like I usually do. Like I tagged ML Spencer.
And him on Twitter.
Oh, he's on Twitter. Maybe we should start sharing. Maybe should we make a Twitter? Maybe more people would join.
I don't even keep up with my own socials. I just lurk.
We're awful with it. I don't know why I'm suggesting that when we're awful with Instagram. Like we
awful at updating things.
Like how late were we this time with the book? We were really early with Dragon Mage because we were like, right, we know what we're gonna read. We need to announce it early.
We knew what we were reading in August, and then we all just kind of went.
I know.
None of us have posted it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like live, we're like, when should we do the live? Like
it's because I was meant to be on holiday.
That's true.
Because I was meant to be on holiday, and then I wasn't, and then I felt bad because I'd said to a couple of people of, oh, it's fine, you've got like another week and a half yet, because we're not doing it till I get back from Cornwall. So I'm like, I can't really put it earlier when I've just told them they have at least until the 8th.
That's true.
7th, 8th, something like that.
Although a lot of the time, obviously, like we don't end up talking about the book anyway. We're awful.
No,
I was just thinking that I was like, I would say this is a good. Well, how long now? We've been on an hour and 40 minutes almost, and we probably spent about 20 minutes talking about the book. Was it? I'm glad you really gave me time to catch up. Yeah. Sorry, we haven't discussed the book much, but
it's kind of hard because I never know in these whether to try and do a non-spoiler bit first, saying like we liked the politics, we liked this, and then go into spoilers just so if people haven't read it, they can bugger off.
Yeah, but also if there's a book discussion, I always kind of take it as like, don't listen if you haven't watched. Don't watch if you haven't read.
Yeah, I know to do that. If there's like a live show for something and I've not read it yet, I just put it in my watch later, and then I watch it back when I've actually read it. If I'm not fussed about seeing what other people think.
I watched Joshana's because she read the entire Legends of the First Empire, and then she was going to go on to Nolan, and I was like, you got to read Rhaenyra. And like when she was doing her live shows, obviously I think they were like in the early hours of the morning because she's in America, but I watched them back and I just love hearing other people talk about it. And I obviously I was going to read along and reread it, but then I was like, no, I ain't got time for that. So I just listened. What was that saying?
Oh, Kerry says Kerry's tastes line up a lot with mine, with like Raymond Fives and and the older stuff like that. So Kerry just lurks to see what I'm reading and then goes, add it to my wish list.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we could just do more of these where it's like just chatting about our favorite books again, because we did do that one, didn't we, where we chatted?
Yeah, we did. But then I think because we all have so many favorites, or like, for example, and this is different for me, from that video where Abby said this was one of her favorites, I bought it when I found it in a charity shop. It looks in such good condition, though. If I don't like it, I don't care. But
I know, but I hate
not
when
really
I say I
looking
love a book.
into what it's about, so that I don't go in. I find with YA, if I go in with no idea what's going on, I like it better than if I go in thinking it's going to be one thing and it's actually not.
Just be prepared, because it is quite descriptive, flowery writing. Like, I love that though about it, because it describes like the food a lot in it. It made me really hungry when I was reading it. It's really like, because everything's really delicate and girly, and I just like that part. I don't know, but it is also quite sinister.
Is it?
So yeah, because it's like all flowers and roses and cupcakes, and then like all this like really dark stuff going on. So I really enjoyed that. So I hope you like
Is
it.
it a duology?
So far, but I have heard rumors that there's going to be more. I don't know if it's like an extra one to the city, or like a companion, or just set in the same world with different characters. I'm not 100%, but
Because like I'm weird and I say that I don't like flowery writing. But then, for example, have you read Mirage by Samaya Dowd?
no, that was a fairy book and I got rid of it. I didn't even try it. It just didn't sound like something I would like.
I 5-starred it.
Oh, really? I'm surprised about that.
I've not kept it. I 5-starred both of the books in that. But one of the main complaints that people had, because she gets pulled into like impersonate a princess. So she has to dress up in stuff, and because it's, I want to say Indian inspired, they wear like all the saris and stuff, and she went into a lot of detail describing the outfits, like where the gems were and all the headdress and the earrings and the jewelry and how her hair was. And everyone's going, I'm reading a fantasy, I don't care about what dress she's wearing. I care. I want to know what she looks like.
The culture though as well, it's probably really important where the things are placed, and that's what I would say. I mean, this is obviously the Bells is about like, it's all about altering people's appearance, so a lot of it is descriptive, because it's just describing all the beauty in the world, because that's the point of the world, is everybody wants to be beautiful. Everybody wants to have the most beautiful things, so they're described a lot, because it's trying to set the tone of like, everything's really beautiful, look at all the beautiful stuff, and then like, oh, what's all this really dark stuff going on in the corners here, what's going on? So yeah, I was quite surprised by the Bells. I remember, I think I listened to the audiobook of it and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I listened to the audio for the second one, I just read that one, but the audio was good from what I remember. So if you don't get on with the physical, I do recommend the audio.
I do normally try that. Like, I'm going to try For the Wolf on audio at some point, because reading physically, it wasn't, I think the writing style didn't work, but it gets away with more if I do it as audio.
It felt quite, when I read that, it was quite a slow one. It was definitely like,
But then, like, do you watch The Brothers Gwyn?
No.
It's John Gwyn's two sons.
Yeah, I saw when they did an interview with their dad. I think I watched that one, and then I didn't subscribe, and I just haven't really. I think I googled, because someone mentioned them on Twitter, so I went and looked at like what they'd done recently. They did like a book haul, but it was like a lot of history books, and I was like, oh, it's not really my thing.
Yeah, they do read a lot of historical fiction, but what I liked that I saw recently, and I don't know about you, I don't watch like when Holly Hart's Books, for example, puts up August releases, because I know she just puts all of the releases in, not just the ones that she's interested in and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Brothers Gwyn did it differently, and I think because of their dad, they have relationships with a lot of authors, so they actually got the authors to film a clip of them pitching their own book and what it's about.
I hadn't seen that video.
So I ended up getting this one, which is historical fiction, which apparently I now like. It's got a nice, it's like canvas, the cover. It's got like a nice texture on it. It's set in 173, somewhere along the river Danube.
Oh.
That was literally it. But the way that he pitched it, I'm like, that sounds really interesting. And I pre-ordered it. And then there's this one that's like a Scottish-inspired fantasy, so Kerry might like it, called The Gauntlet and the Fist Beneath. And again, the author
a Goldsboro one. It was a
No,
Goldsboro
both
pick.
of use. And actually, I had a look. Both of these are on Kindle Unlimited, and they came out on the 5th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's strange to have them, like, especially a book that was Goldsboro's book of the month, I think. The Gauntlet of Fish.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a gold. I remember I saw someone selling it. I see so many Goldsboro books on Depop, people just selling them immediately. I was like, have you ever read that yet?
The ribbon bookmark as well, which I got very excited about. But I think just the author's actually pitching them, because I know, using Holly as an example, she will pull the books that I've read and she'll go, this book is about, and she'll spiel it off. And I'm just like, going, no, it's not. Nothing like that at all.
No.
Which is why
the back of it.
Not even reading the description off the back half the time. But these, because they were pitched by the author, and they described them, and because it's their book, they're like really enthusiastic about it and stuff. I'm like, screw it, I'm buying hardcovers. And I don't normally buy hardcovers.
That's true. Yeah, I need to stop, because I have like a stack on my sofa, because there's literally nowhere else to put them. So I need to. It's my birthday at the end of the month as well, so I'm just like, I'm going to Oxford. There's a Blackwell's in Oxford. I know what's going to happen, so I'm not even going to say, like, oh, I'm not going to buy any more books for the rest of the month. It's obviously not going to happen. But I think September will be the month where I'm like, right, no more. Unless it's a pre-order, which I have now. How many editions of Empire the Vampire coming? 4 different editions. I have the Waterstones, the Forbidden Planet, Luma Crate now, and I bought the US edition as well.
Yeah, I think I have just a normal hardcover on order.
I would have
got
Goldsboro if I was able.
I would have
got
Goldsboro. I wasn't. But
I was on that site for 2 hours. 2 hours. And I didn't even get to I didn't get to the checkout. I did not put my details in. It was in my basket, and it just was like, nope. I was like, oh, okay.
But I'm sat going, right, okay, I've already had a few books arrive this month. 2 more have arrived today that were the Legacy of Steel and the Dungeons and Dragons book. I was sat on Amazon before going, you've been really good at your new job. You've not had a panic attack yet. Buy yourself some books. So I put a couple of middle grades in, because they're just quick and easy and stuff. And then I'm sat going, if my reading is going to go down drastically, because I can't audiobook, I can't buy the same amount of books that I have been doing, because I can't outread how fast they come in.
I need to do that thing, because weren't you doing a thing where you had to read a certain amount to then buy a new one? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, for every 3 that I read, I could buy 1. It didn't last very long because I have no self-control.
None of us do. That's why my shelves look like a freaking library at the minute.
I know the other one of these is still on its way. I got really excited because this came from America. So I had an American hardback book-shaped parcel waiting for me when I came home, and I got so excited. And I was like, ugh. I thought it was Age of Empire. I never said Empire of the Dragon then.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. I'm getting real anxious about whether we're ever going to get those books. I went onto the forums
for ages, and the last
not for that one. We've had updates for Nolan.
Yeah,
but no updates for Age of Empire.
We've not had updates for Age of Empire.
Yeah, have you seen the comments on the thing that the Kickstarter? Comments from people in Canada saying they haven't even got theirs yet. There's people from Canada saying like, "Oh, when's the Age of Empire?" I was like, "They're getting closer." Right?
There was an update saying it was in Germany, and then there was an update weeks ago now saying that it was with the UK courier. And I'm like, well, what courier? Who's coming? Because none of us have it.
I don't think I got that email. The last email I got was his daughter asking me to confirm our address.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I got. The one with the black sprayed edges.
I have 4. 5.
That just went back in stock, mine cat. I don't know if there's any left, but it did go back in stock. Emperor the Vampire, the black sprayed edges one.
I've got that one.
You got a regular one as well?
I've got Planet. I've got a regular one to read because I didn't want fixed Fitz to knock a cup of tea over it or something like he normally does if it's a special one. I've got the
I don't think I
American
can
one.
justify a normal one.
I've got the Illuminati, and I'm like, I better bloody like this book.
If not, then, you know,
I got approved for the Galley one, where it's like the first 300 pages. So a bit closer to the release, I'm going to start reading that, and then at least if I don't like it, I can cancel.
I didn't get that either.
Oh,
shoot. We better make a move. It's like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I have to be up at 3 a.m. Can you hear me?
Naked because we had a bath. You're on my earphone.
Yeah, because like many times I've gone, Fitz, and you're like, you can't hear you. I'm like, oh.
Don't expose me on the internet. Get off the books. Don't lick the books. Yeah, my sister's looking after my brother's Yorkshire Terrier this week. He has worse boundaries than Fitz.
Oh no.
So like Louise will be sat reading, and where Fitz will just sit on your knee underneath the book so that you're kind of cuddling him. There's hair in my mouth. Rocky will literally sit going, Louise, this hand isn't tickling me, and he'll like jump up and start licking your face. He's licked the pages where she's trying to read it.
Needy dog.
Have you read Legendborn?
No.
She's just read it and she said it was fantastic. The gender bent Arthur retelling.
Legendborn.
It was a debut. It's got a black lady on the cover.
Oh, I thought that was like urban fantasy. Was that not urban fantasy?
I don't think so. It's some form of Arthur retelling, but Arthur's a woman apparently. My sister just read it and she said it's fantastic.
Yeah, I saw the cover and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I went to look at it, but as soon as I saw it was like set in the real world, from what I thought, unless I got that completely wrong and I've confused it with something else. Because I'm so iffy with urban fantasy. It just.
Well, I am, but
some work and some don't. Like Crescent City obviously was amazing, and then what else is there that I've read that's set in?
I think it depends. If it's urban set front world, I like it. If it's urban set in world, kind of hit or miss. But Left-Handed Booksellers of London was like an Arthur retelling set in 1984. I loved that. And there was another one as well that I really liked.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll give it a go. I got it on my Kindle. Because in the actual physical copy, it's like 500 pages, but it's like size 6 writing. It's like Ranger of Marzana. Because that writing's tiny.
I really want to read that book, but every time I open it, I'm like, oh, that writing's so small.
I got it went down to 99p on Kindle ages ago, so I got it on that.
Oh, I should have. You need to bring out an audiobook for it.
There's no audiobook. I'm really irritated because what's the name? The Ardor Ben books. Thousand Deaths of Ardor Ben is the first one. That has an audiobook, but it's only out in America, so I got it off Libro FM. Hello, don't expose me. Don't do it. And I did it that way. They've not done audiobooks for the other two. Only the first one is on audio. Why? Because it was really good audio.
Yeah, I have noticed that where they have like the second or third one, and then the first one doesn't have audio, and I'm just like, why wouldn't you do the first one? Like, that makes more sense to me. But
they only buy the UK rights for book 3 in a 4-book series. I'm like, why? Yeah. You've made me booby now. You've messed my dress up.
Yeah, I do need to listen to the audio sometimes, especially when it's epic fantasy and it's like a big book.
I do it.
It just helps when I'm reading along. It just really helps a lot for me to like keep my focus and keep.
Yeah.
Because I have that thing where like sometimes I'll read the same sentence twice. It's just so irritating. I hate when that happens. I'll be reading. I'm like, oh, I just read that at the same time, like the sentence again, and I'm just like, it just takes me out because then I have to like assign myself and be like, right, okay. So I don't know if I think there's like probably a name to that. It's not like I'm not obviously like dyslexic because I don't get words mixed around, but it's just that thing where I can't follow the sentences sometimes, and I'll just like read a sentence, then read it again. I'm like, what? So
Yeah,
that always gets me. But
no.
But anyway, to wrap up the Dragon Mage discussion where we didn't discuss Dragon Mage hardly at all. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm very excited for the next one.
I
feel like
loved
a
it. I
reread might be
gave
in
it 5
order.
stars. I want more. I've read the short story and gave that 5 stars. And I think I'm going to go back through her back catalogue.
Does she have it? I thought this was a debut. Is this not a debut?
Nope. It's like the 8th book she's written or something. She's written others.
Oh god. Pardon me, Jesus.
And I think there's already 3 books listed on Goodreads. The next one comes out in January, I think.
Does this have a name? Like this series, does it have a name?
I can't remember. Because it's buried under other books now, and I have a fit on many.
My dream one day is to get my like quote on the back of a book.
Oh yeah.
Who did this one? Bookworm Blues and Novel Notions. I want it to say Abby's Booktopia, this quote. That'd be the dream.
Imagine if we could get it one day so that it's got like a blurb from all 3 of us saying the Rose and Thorn Book Club underneath it. I'd be like, that's me.
Michael's books. Oh my god, should we petition? Be like, Michael, look, we'll
get
give
used
you
in
a
the
really
blurb.
good quote. What's that?
I think part of one of my NetGalley reviews, an author contacted me and said, can I use this in marketing pictures? And I can't remember who it was.
That's so cool. That's what I want.
I still love the book because I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I always see Petrik's, like, apparently he gets his, like, because his Goodreads is popping. Like, everyone follows Petrik, I think, on Goodreads.
He does, but then I'm really mad because I follow him on YouTube and I went to watch his review of Magician by Raymond E. Feist and he's like, I didn't like it. I'm like, off. Just
That's known as self-care.
Like, listen, it's info dumpy, and I'm like, I read it in about 5 hours. It can't be that info dumpy because I just.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't read older fantasy, and I always have. Damn.
It is hard listening to someone talk about a book you love and go, I didn't like it. All this like Leanna's Library, she's going to read Theft of Swords, and I'm terrified for her to read that because she is such a harsh critic. I like her though because she is very like unapologetic. Like, I didn't like it, accept it. I just didn't like it. Even like really popular books, she's like, I didn't like it. So, but Theft of Swords, I'm just like, please go easy on it, please.
No. Kerry to the rescue with what the series is called.
Oh, Riven. I can't read that. It's
Wild.
Riven Wilds.
I
feel like
think
I should have a dragon series name.
I think it's Riven Wild Chronicles, so I think it might actually be more than 3 eventually.
Possibly. I mean,
or
to be fair, for this whole book.
Chronicles, so it can.
Yeah, I mean, this is a massive book, and I wasn't bored at all reading it.
Oh no.
So
every time I had to put it down, I was just thinking I can pick it back up again.
Yeah.
That's the sign of a 5-star read for me. Of I'm like a dick and I want to do nothing but read it. What?
This is self-published, right?
Yeah.
Because it says Stoneguard Publications, but I remember that authors sometimes have their own names.
Like the Elise Cover ones, she's Silverwing Press, I think. She made her own publishing house, but she only publishes her own books because I think it's easier to do taxes and stuff like that, especially in America, if you set it up as a business rather than being like self-employed.
Yeah,
I think.
That makes sense.
Because I've got the next Elise Cover book on pre-order as well.
Oh yeah, I still need to read. I read Air Awakens. It's the only book I read by her.
I've not read that one yet because I have hardbacks, which means that I want all of them in hardbacks, and they're so expensive.
They are. And like the Alchemists of Loom, I had the first one in like, and I really like those original covers. And then she put out an Instagram post where she's like, they're going out of print. They'll never be back in print again because they're like changing the covers probably. And I was just like, uh-oh, because I have that first one. I was like, let me just go see
You
what
like them to be matching as well, don't you? Where I'm not.
I have to have the match. Oh, I have to, and especially if it's a series I'm gonna love. I want those original covers. And to be fair, if I don't love them, then I know I can sell them on for a little bit of money, so that's fine. But I eventually found them both, and I found them both for like not crazy prices. I've seen them for crazy prices, but I did not pay crazy prices. I pay a little bit more than is normal for a book, for a series you haven't read yet? Yeah, probably. But you know, when I'm sad, I tend to buy stuff. So
Same.
Because I'm on a diet, so it was either eat or buy stuff, and I can't eat whatever I want anymore. So buy stuff is becoming the prevalent one. So,
but yeah,
no,
I'm
excited for the next one.
I am. I'm really tempted to buy the hardcover of Dragon Mage.
I want the hardcover because it's got the pretty naked hardcover, which I always love when they do that. It's so pretty. I'm obviously always going to keep this one because it's signed, but hand signed as well. Like she actually had this in her hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got really excited when this came because obviously it came from America, so I got really excited. It was Michael's book. I was still excited when I opened it. I was like, oh okay. But I was like, where's Michael's
excited
book?
because I've been wanting to read that next one, but it wasn't the one I was really hoping for. I
just want it because we've read it. It's not like we haven't read it. We've been waiting to read it. It's not like that. It's just that I spent quite a lot of money on it, and it's been over a year. I've already pre-ordered, and supported this next Kickstarter, which the other half wasn't the happiest about because he was like,
Age of Empire, I will kick off.
Yeah.
Because
they're delivering it different. Like, yeah. Well, they're delivering it different. I get that it might get here faster than Age of Empire did, but I mean, anything would because it's been over a year and we still haven't got it. Like, I just would like an update. I just would like for all you UK or Europe based, and also like the thing is when Canadian people are saying they haven't got it, that makes me really worried because I'm like, surely that like it literally goes across a border. Like it went across oceans.
Always slow going to Canada.
Do they go around like the ocean? Do they?
The customs are really bad. My friend Alex is in Canada and she gets stuff from America and it takes ages to get through.
Yeah, maybe it's just stuck in customs then. But
I don't know because I'm sure it said that it was with the courier, which is very much
like it.
But my email will have gone now. I'm going to see if there's an update on Kickstarter after, because if it was with the courier, it'll be, well, where is it? Because it's outside any payment protection now because it's taken so long.
Yeah.
I'm like,
if it's in the UK and it's not been delivered, I don't know. I don't even know what they're going to do about it because, like, if say like they're lost and they lost all the ones that went, like, are they going to be able to afford to replace them all and do them all again and sign new ones for us and put our names in it like they said they were? My tote bag that I ordered.
Oh, you got extras, didn't you?
Yeah.
Are you going?
Me and Steph.
Is that what you want?
I can't remember.
She did.
That's what I mean. Like the other half got annoyed because like you. Yeah. But obviously because I said like how I wanted the, special vegan leather bound one and like the regular one, and he's like, "Have you got your last one from them yet?" I'm like, "No."
They've said that.
So why are you doing it again? I'm like, my favorite author. Okay, like don't judge me.
Dave was the same, and when I explained what happened, and it's not Michael's fault that it's taken so long. It's whatever delivery company they used. He was like, "Oh, okay, that's not his fault."
Obviously, at the same time, but that's the thing, because he's doing it on himself at the same time. It's not his fault, but he is technically responsible. Yeah. And I just would like for them to find, because like how we can't find out. There's no way for us to find out. It's up to them to tell us.
Anything, so we don't know.
You know, that's the thing. It's not even anything to do. Like we can't do anything, so we just have to wait. And it's been over a year, so that is crazy. Like if anything, it's over a year since we ordered it, and over a year since like it was supposed to be here. Like it was supposed to be here this time last year already. You know what I mean? Like we pre-ordered it and
last May, so it should have been here around last May. So it's been like 14 months.
Well, even if it was like,
I don't know where it is.
Yeah, it is frustrating. It's just,
but
I hate getting those bloody Royal Mail scam messages that are like, you need to pay this fee, because in the back of my mind it's like, was that an actual like legit?
You and Steph every time you get one, I'm like, no, it's a scam. It's not real.
The first time I got one, I was like, oh, is that a thing? And then I googled it, and obviously people were like, and I've had it before where they've put the slip through my door saying you need to pay customs. So I don't know why in my head I thought that they would do it differently. Royal Mail explicitly says don't ever click on a link. Yeah. We'll always do it through your address.
It will always go through your door. Most delivery companies do. They say like, it's been left here, go pay the fee and you get your parcel when you take it to like an official checkpoint.
Yeah.
But
a lot of the times, like, how do you have my mobile number? So some of them like pretty silly.
But it's like, especially with starting this job, I'm like, if my brain gets too tired, I want to reread that because it's familiar and I already know it and it should be easier. But like, I'm missing Age of Empire. Yeah. I don't have it.
I know.
I have physicals of all of them. I'm just missing a hard cover. I need to get a hardcover of Age of Swords.
Which one are you missing?
And then I've got them all in hardcover.
Yeah. Have you checked his website, which I know is probably the silliest place to try buying from him again, but I don't know if they have them.
It's just
on his...
waiting for when I get paid. I have a paperback of it. Steph gave me her paperbacks. They're used, but...
Is it on Amazon, is it?
Yeah, I got...
I bought mine used. I bought mine off Abe Books.
Yeah, I got Age of Myth off Amazon.
It wasn't the worst.
20 quid.
It was pretty okay. That's not too bad. That's like it brand new, pretty much.
I want to go chronological when I reread and see if I see things reading it the other way around to how I read it originally. Because I've already read them all, so...
I technically haven't finished Nolan. I am... Where's my
You've not finished it?
I know, don't... I don't know where my Kindle is. Oh, there it is. Ugh. It's underneath stuff. I know that I've been like, every now and again I'll like pick it up, and I was like, and then I noticed the other day that I hadn't picked anything else up except for it, and I was like, oh, I gotta stop, because every time I start reading it I get really into it. I'm 52%. I'm like halfway. I really need to finish it, but I also like keep looking and I'm like, I can't distract myself with something I want to read against the stuff I kind of need to read. Like I still want to read those other books, but I need to prioritize, because especially I need to definitely do, especially this month for sure, I'm gonna do all the ones that I got sent from the author, because that's the thing, I've got to do that new one. I got I don't remember the name of it. I hauled it in my big haul the other day.
Something with spears?
Something Blood of Spears? Eulogy of Spears? I don't know. I can't remember. But my stop on that is the 26th, so I need to get ahead on that, because
I signed up for one.
I think it's actually like 500 pages
with them, and it was meant to be like a proper review one. I was like, I think I can squeeze it. That gives me enough time that I can at least read most of it. And then I think they mustn't have had as much interest. So they're like, oh, we've changed it to a blitz. You don't actually have to read it anymore. Just shout about it on these 3 days. I'm like, that's great. Means if I can't finish it, it doesn't matter as much, because he's decided to send us all physical copies of it as well.
Oh,
so
that's nice though. Which book was that?
I can't remember.
What book was that?
I can't remember.
December.
I'm terrible. My brain's just like bleh.
Probably tired.
I'll find out. It did sound really good.
Yeah.
But
I only sign up to the ones that I'm really interested in.
Yeah, I've had to start doing that a lot because with Storytellers on Tour, I got excited about loads of them. And I think, not saying it about all indie authors, but some of them were not well edited at all.
Yeah.
Like, I had to stop reading them because they were so badly edited, it was unreadable at points. Then I'm like, how do I make this into a positive on my stop here, have a blurb? And then when people are like, would you recommend it? I'm just like, I've not finished it yet, so I'm only doing ones that I'd already heard of and was already interested in first, or like authors I've read from before.
I would say I'm like, I would say I'm a massive like negative reviewer. Most of the time, I will start with the good and then like be like, but this is what I didn't like. And I try to be as constructive as possible, and I will critique self-published. There's sometimes where it's like it is for a blog tour, and I know the author's probably going to be like looking out for who's on the blog tour and like looking to see that day. So when it's like that, I do tend to like email them like, I didn't like it, can I just put like what it's about? And they'll say yeah. But most of the time I will review it and I don't tag the author. Sometimes the authors follow me and then they see the review and they unfollow me, and I'm like, well, you know, that's a little bit, you know, because one of them she's never gonna see this, it's fine. But it was the woman that did Anna. I gave it a 3-star. It wasn't like the worst. I said, this is what I liked. This is what I criticized and I didn't really like about it. And she unfollowed me immediately after she saw like my review, I guess, because she's following me. So like, of course you're going to see my review. Like, don't follow reviewers if you're not going to, or if you see me post about it. See, you know, maybe I should start putting the stars at the top. So they're like, right, let's not read this like 3-star review that this person did. But I always put my stars at the bottom because I did. So. Maybe I should start putting it at the top. But also, authors just need to, you know, understand that not everyone's going to love your book. And I get it when you've got a smaller audience or like you're not as well known. I get it. But I have opinions. I'm not going to like pretend I don't have opinions.
You do. And you can't send something out for honest opinions because what you don't like, I might like.
And that's happened where you've liked saying.
Or like if I say I didn't like this book because it's got really flowery writing, you would like that.
I'd like it.
My negatives are your positives. And a lot of indie authors, like D.W. Ross with Cold from the North, he messaged me the other day saying, I've not forgot about you, because he said I could have a free audio version and try and review that way of Cold from the North. And he's like, I've not forgot about you, but we've hit some bumps in the road and it'll be like October. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he messaged me the other day and he said, he's like, do you want a hardcover of the first book? I was like, okay. Sure.
Sat going, don't tempt me. But yeah, some authors are great about stuff and they know that readers have their own opinions. Some of them overstep, like the one who was like, you haven't reviewed my book. Why haven't you reviewed my book? Because I didn't like it. And you're a smaller author and I didn't want to put a negative review out, so I've not reviewed it.
They actually messaged you.
They contacted me again through my website because I said to start off with, because I had a ton when I tweeted last year. I was like, one, I can't guarantee when I will get to it. I can't guarantee that I will definitely publish something because I don't put a negative review on my blog. On my YouTube or whatever, I'll say, I didn't like it, here's what didn't work. But you might not necessarily see it. And a couple of them have then done follow-up messages saying, I sent you an e-copy, why haven't you bothered reviewing it yet? Why did I even send it to you? I'm like, I didn't like it because it read like a 12-year-old had written it.
Yeah, that's why you got to be careful with who reaches out to you. And at the same time, it's like you reached out to me. So if I reach out to an author, obviously I always intend to read, review, and, you know, because I've reached out to them, they've then like...
The cover was not good. And I'm like...
So if anything, it didn't even cost them anything to send it to you. Like an e-copy of it. It didn't cost them anything.
Not like they sent me a physical copy or anything. They literally just sent me an email. And some of them aren't very nice like that.
Yeah, that's when you block and you move on and you never read one of their
Which
books
is why
again.
I'm really fussy. There's a book called Illborn by Daniel. What's his name? He messaged and he just said we read a lot of similar things because he likes Raymond Feist, he likes Discworld and stuff. And he's like, I've written a book. I thought you might like it. I was like, okay, it was one I was looking at getting anyway. It was already in my Amazon basket. I was like, how does it work out best for you? Does it work out best for me to buy from your publisher or from Amazon? Which way works out better for you? And he's like, from my publisher. So I did that. I've not read it yet because it's a chunk. But that's apparently really, really good. And he's really nice. Like, he just chats anyway.
Yeah.
He comments on my posts and stuff, and he's really active.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
had a
think
couple
I'm
of
going to have to be
authors.
picky on who I accept requests from.
D.W. Ross, he's really nice. He's really friendly.
He's lovely. He is.
And then the guy that did The Look of a King, I can't remember his name right now. Michael, possibly? The Look of the King. I hold it recently. It's the one where it's like two faces. Did I bring it up here? No, it's probably downstairs. I think, I don't know. There's so many books everywhere. But he constantly messaged me just about like stuff in my stories. And it's just nice. It's just nice to like chat to an author and like, you know, and hopefully I like his book. But, you know, I've had people reach out to me and like they've said, can you, you know, there was one, she sent me her book and I still haven't read it, to be fair. Like I think I started reading it and I just wasn't in the mood for it. So I was like, I'm gonna put this down for now. But she was like saying to me, like, can you message me before if you didn't like it? So that, you know, I could say, yeah, please post your review, or please just don't. But she's also like, I would like to get like constructive criticism back. That's fine. So I don't mind that, where she's openly said, if you don't like it, I'm happy to have criticism. And I'm like, that's good, because sometimes I feel like authors don't want to hear it. And I honestly, I hold my hands up. I'm like, I don't write books, so don't take me as like but it's just my personal opinions and preferences sometimes. And I think authors need to get that in their heads. It's like sometimes it's not because I'll say like the writing was really good and skilled and I can see that there is like potential, but I just didn't like the story, didn't like the character work, I didn't like the world building. You know, there's lots of different factors which will turn me off of a book. And that's just a personal opinion rather than like you're really bad at writing. And then there are sometimes where, yeah, your writing could do a little editing and tweaking. And that's not like saying you can't write at all. It's just saying like you're new, you need help, you know? Yeah, there's some authors that have got loads of published books and they still, I don't think their writing's like very good, but
no.
What's that say?
Kerry she said
he's on
my page too. This looks quite good. I'm guessing that's Call from the North. The comments come through a bit delayed from when you actually hit enter. So I'm guessing it's Call from the North. Another author, and I'm biased because I'm friends with him, is Jacob Sannox. He's really quite active with finding reviews, and he's friendly to everyone. He's actually said I can be an alpha reader on book 3 in the Dark Oak series. I was like, really? Sorry.
Excited.
I spoiled the dog up.
Yeah. Maybe just don't mention my name to him.
Yes right now. Because I'm like, I don't know when my brain
I didn't review his book. I just gave it a 3-star on Goodreads. So.
I loved it. I gave it 5 stars.
I didn't like that book.
But he gets that it's not for everybody.
3, possibly. No, just not my kind of thing. So I think like a lot of it, I was just like, I don't know. Nah. I couldn't really even pinpoint what it was like exactly, but it's just like I found myself a little bit bored. I hate saying that. I hate saying like, oh, I'm bored reading your book, but I just was like, I know when a book's like got me enticed and like, yeah, let's go. And then there's books where I'm like, okay. And then there's books where I'm like, what's not gonna happen? But then I've said that about bloody Robin Hobb, the queen of fantasy, apparently to some people, and I'm just like, I didn't love Royal Assassin. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars because the ending was friggin' insane. And like a lot of stuff happened in it where I was like, oh my god, like she has that skill of like making you like it fits. As much as I find him irritating, I just feel like, oh, that poor kid. most of the time. Like everything he goes through, and then everything people do to him, I'm just like, oh, I just feel bad for him most of the book. So she's really good at making you really feel for a character, even if he's not like the perfect character. You know, he's silly, he makes mistakes, he's pretty stupid most of the time. I still absolutely like care about him, and I want him to be all right. I want him to be okay. But I do feel like that book was way too long for me. And it scares me, the next book, because it's even bigger. But I'm just hoping, because it's the last book, it'd be a bit more fast-paced. I don't know if it could have middle book syndrome for me. That's possibly what it is. So,
yeah.
Anyway, oh my god, we're at the
because Fitz is he wants bedtime, don't you?
Oh, you want to see? He's so cute. He looks like I don't know why, but for some reason, sausage dogs always make me like they look really posh almost. I've always wanted a sausage dog, and I wanted to call him Alfonso. Oh. Don't ask me why. Alfonso. Just because they look... Don't you think with their long faces, they're like, Alfonso? Just fits for me.
Fits.
Fits him.
I call him Fitzy.
Right? Oh. So cute. I want a dog, but we're not allowed animals in the place we're renting. They don't let us have. We're not even allowed children in here, apparently. Yeah. In our contract, it says no children. I don't think they mean like no children. It's like no children are allowed to step in the house. It's more like don't have kids while you're here, kind of thing.
I don't think they were.
So yeah, if I get preggers, I have to move. Apparently.
Why are you licking?
It's weird because it's not through like a letting agents. It's through they do it. They're like privately owned renting, but they use the letting agents for like all the legal stuff. So technically, it's up to them what they do. They can make their own contracts. They handle all the payments and legal stuff through Andrews. But yeah, our contract specifically, I remember looking. I was like, no pets, and then like I was so surprised when I saw no children. I was like, oh, okay. Well, we weren't planning to have kids straight when we moved in here anyway, but obviously, if I do, you know, hopefully eventually we'll have to move, which is sad because I love this house, but it'd be nice to have like an extra room for a library. That would be nice.
I have a library.
But anyway, I know, you're so lucky. And you're getting more bookshelves. I can't even get a fourth one. You got like what? Your 10th coming?
I didn't even have to ask for bookshelves. He offered bookshelves so that his drinks cabinet wasn't by itself in the dining room.
He's not a reader though, is he?
He's not what?
He's not like a reader, is he? Like
does
he read a lot or doesn't?
No.
No, that's what I mean. Like
8.5 years.
That's what I mean. It's because Mark reads, but he's not like like he'll read every now and again, but he's more audiobooks these days. He likes to listen to them whilst he's doing other stuff. But I feel like if I had a reader boyfriend, that maybe I'd have a bit more support about buying books and buying bookshelves for the books. But his view on it is like, if you get another bookshelf, you're going to fill it. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell him, I already have enough books to fill it. I don't need to buy any more.
It makes no difference. You either have stacks or a new bookshelf.
It's true. Well, I tried to say that to him, but he's also like, yeah, but if we move and there's no room, and I was like, I'd make room. I would make sure the house was big enough. It would be one of the requirements. Is there room for my shelves? No? Okay, then I'm not having it. So, but anyway, yeah. I need to get to bed. I need to tidy up. I got books all over my bed now.
I've got one in front of me, and this is where I
try to be better, I guess, about
what?
I need to tidy. Yeah, the house is like just got books everywhere. Oh, there's just books everywhere at the minute, like all over the house. There's like loads of stacks in here. There's stacks in the other room where, because I'm selling them, there's just like a stack of them. Like, so like every room in the house has books in it except for the toilets. Even the kitchen has books in it. My whole house is covered in books. But yeah, we'll try to be better about announcing a live show and giving people plenty of time. Even though I'm pretty sure there's only like a couple of people that actually come in to the live show actual, like when it's live.
More people
I
watch
see that people watch it a couple of times after, but to be fair, it's like 2.5 hours of us talking about it's pretty much us just catching up with each other.
I think maybe we need to kind of make
and
it more
sometimes
structured.
Steph if she's around, but she's so busy.
Yeah. She's not having a good time.
I should have written notes down for sure.
Well,
but maybe next time about right, we're not talking about any other book. No other books.
Like have a quick bit at the start of this is what we're currently reading, and then do the book and try and do it that way rather than us keep going off on tangents and having to come back.
I think we'll have to do heavy spoilers for like future book talks though, because I don't feel like we could talk about them in depth enough without going into like what happens, the endings of the book, and that will require obviously like note taking and stuff. So
the endings,
definitely for Shadowless, because I'll be physically reading it anyway over audio. Yeah, because there's no audiobook for Shadowless, so I'll be physically reading it. I'll make sure then to tab, but I won't go as tab crazy as I did with Theft of Swords. And if I tab, maybe I'll write down, like, I don't know, put a little post-it of my thoughts at that time. So, yeah. But I feel like I need to put post-its in with actual, like, reasons why. Because sometimes I can't find this particular thing I'm looking for if it's just colored tabs. I need, like, a little, like, you know, yellow sticky note just to say, this is why you like this quote. This is why, you know.
You can get notes with actual lines on them so you can write properly on them and stuff. Or one of the YouTubers I watch gets like, do you remember revision cards from in school?
No.
Oh, she gets packed with revision cards. They're like little things that you used to write notes on. And she puts one of them like every 50 or 100 pages. And then when she gets to that card, she writes down what she thinks so far. And then she'll read until she hits.
That is actually a really good idea.
And write it down, and then she has them stuck in like bookmarks so she can reference back to what goes where. So I did that.
That's actually a really good idea.
I did that with what's the name? The Till Cold Northern Wrath. Names of books have gone today. They're just gone. So yeah, I sometimes do that.
Oh, I just looked at myself. I look so tired.
I'm sat here. I've got like
my eyes.
mover
I can
out.
just
I'm
tell
like,
I'm
it's
getting
bedtime.
tired. My eyes get so dry, and they're just like.
I know.
Getting ready.
But
right.
It's my bedtime.
So yeah, we'll hopefully announce the
tomorrow.
live show at a decent time to give everyone a warning.
And the September book.
Yeah. Yes, we will announce that before September hits. Before.
People have time to get it.
We'll have to discuss it. Obviously not tonight.
I'll come to bed in a minute.
Can't get on another tangent, but yeah, we'll pick it in our group chat that we have, and just remember to announce it.
Yes.
Before September.
Before September.
To be fair, Shadowless is quite small. It's only 400, right? So it shouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, 430, I think.
But yeah, hopefully the live show will either be at the end. Well, actually, saying that.
It's your birthday.
Yeah, I think that maybe the live show will be in September because the last weekend of August is my birthday. I'll be in Oxford. I won't really have the time. So if we're going to do it on a weekend, it would have to either be the weekend before, which obviously is too soon. So probably be the first weekend of September, which isn't too bad. But we'll think properly, we'll announce times, and we'll make sure that no one's got plans. I need a diary, clearly. But yeah, anyway. This was oh my god, we chat for so God, can you imagine if me and Steph ever got in like person together? We'd just be spending like hours and hours chatting.
No.
Never shut. Just go into bookstores and just do the most damage that we could ever do. We'd be the worst influences on each other. It'd be amazing. But hopefully maybe we'll have to see where everyone is at that point. And I don't think I'll be booking a ticket until at least next year. Like
no.
Until next year hits, just to make sure.
Because it was all online this year, wasn't it? Said I don't even think they'll go on sale until they definitely.
I did win a book.
You won a book?
Yeah. But yeah, Mina of the Undead. I just entered a bunch. I didn't enter all of them, but I just entered the bunch that I really wanted. And Mina and the Undead. I think I saw books with Chloe talking about it. It's got vampires in it. It sounded kind of good.
Yeah.
I just entered it on a whim, but I won. So I was like, oh, cool.
Fair enough.
What's that?
Said fair enough.
Ooh.
Bloody hell.
You're frozen.
I don't know what about this. I'm not frozen.
Because like to me, you're just looking off, thinking. You're like, but you're like completely frozen. Maybe that's the sign to log off.
That's the sign for us to shut up and go to bed.
You were frozen for a good while. You were just like this, like thinking off into the distance. It was quite funny.
That's fine.
And you're frozen again.
So.
You're frozen again. Right. It's a good time to sign off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. This was fun, as always. And I'll speak to you soon, but anyone who is watching, we will see you. Yeah. See you in September, I guess. Bye. You're frozen again.
Ugh.
Bye.
Bye.